Good evening, welcome. This is Poker Night Live. I'm Barry the Bully Martin, joined by the one, the only Mr. James Browning this evening.
Hi Barry, you're looking very summery, I think.
Well, you know what? The receding hair, you know, I was getting jealous of your very shiny forehead, so I thought I'd have one myself, just to join in.
And we've got the little
stubble going on. Yeah, it's moved down. You see, when he was shaving my head, it it just stuck.
It's all right though. It looks good.
Do you like it?
Yeah, it looks good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm going to get shaved off now. He said it looks good. I'm joking. Anyway, look, Poker Night Live. I'm sure you've seen the show before, but we're going to be seeing some poker over the next 4 hours of this wonderful show, double award-winning show, nevertheless. We're going to see some hole cards, whether it be a sit and go, one table, multi-table tournaments or cash games, and James and I will be trying to make sure that we give you as much expert information as possible over the next 4 hours. And we've got an excellent phone-in today with Mr. Mike Lacey, which we'll be having him on the phone during the first break. So, it's all about your show. You know, at the end of the day, we want you to contact us, get in contact as much as you possibly can to, you know, infuse the show with your views, questions, comments, etc., etc., etc. And there are a number of ways to get in contact with us here at Poker Night Live. One's a text. You can text using your mobile phone or some kind of electronic device. Text the word poker within your message to 84222. That's 84222. Also, you can email the show, poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. There you go, it's on the screen as we can see. And for more information about the show, about how to get to play on these tables, etc., 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 www.pokernightlive.co.uk, and a great forum as well. Always a good forum.
Very lively.
Talking about Johnny Chan.
Yes, he was on the show.
He was on the show on Friday.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a coup.
I'm sure someone's got a recording, but we'll get it to you, Barry, so you can see it. I'm sure you'd like to watch the great man.
What was his shirt like? Because I know he likes to wear very interesting clothes usually.
Trust you to be interested in Johnny Chan's shirt, Barry.
No.
It must be with this new haircut. You're looking for something to go with it.
Do you not like the shirt?
No, this is all right. Yeah, okay. This is cool, man.
Okay. Look, how about you take us around the tables? Let's see what's on offer tonight for our viewers.
And we'll get you a DVD of the Johnny Chan. How about that?
Thank you, James.
And this is the Private Members League tournament, Barry. And this is a $5 one, I believe, with rebuys. That's rebuys for the first hour and one add-on. And this is the $5 sit and go, and this is the long structure. Have you seen the long structure, Barry?
No, I'm sure you're going to show me.
That was one of them. Oops, just gone. You get 2,000 chips, and the blinds go up every 12 hands instead of every 10.
Excellent.
And here's the same structure, and this is a $2 one. And this is a cash game. It's a baby cash game, but there's a full house of players there, and 25-50 cents. But we'll have a look at those games later.
Couple of things I'd like to talk about during the show. Not now. We're going to go and see our MTT very shortly, our multi-table tournament. But a couple of things that I've spoken to a number of people about this week. Suited connectors. I think we should talk about suited connectors, how to play them profitably as well.
Because they are a good idea.
In the right hands, in the right situation, they can be you know, a very powerful holding.
That's a good idea. We'll be thinking about that. Then we'll think about what sort of stipulations there should be when you're playing them, if there's a certain position you should play them, etc., etc.
So, hold on.
Good topic.
You're in late position. It's a deep stack tournament. It comes round to you and you've got to call all in with 5-6 suited.
Call all in?
With 5 now?
No, I'm not call all in with it. Definitely not.
So we've got one stipulation.
But if I've got a deep stack tournament and I'm late situation and it's the first level, and there's quite a few customers in there, I'm in with my suited connectors straight away.
Excellent. And something else I want to talk about as well. The US dollar, seen a bit of a downturn this week. Most of the sites that we play on are all dollar-based, you know. You may have quite a lot of money invested in your particular account. What are you going to do? Is it a good time to, you know, do you want to be cashing out now? Is it a good time to deposit? Maybe we should talk about that as well during the week.
I'll be listening.
Okay, no,
have you got some good advice on this, Barry? I'm all ears.
Maybe.
Oh, good.
We'll see. Anyway, should we fly straight across the green table, the multi-table tournament, the PNL Private League? I believe.
Yes, we'll have a look.
How does this work, James? This private
PNL Private League. They play every Monday, and they've got a points league there. In fact, if you have a look in your little inbox there, you'll get a few details, and it'll give us the standing of the players in their league, I think.
Okay, we had 45 runners start this season. I'm just looking at the stats here. Everyone gets 1,500 in chips. It's a 12-minute clock, and the total prize pool, $640. And top 5 get paid.
Okay, and I think maybe the gallery will send you details about the league, and because we should have some sort of standings in the league, because they get points.
And what do points make?
Prizes!
Do they?
I think.
Oh, okay. Not another Poker Night Live goodie, bag of goodies or whatever they send out, yeah.
They'd be valuable now, we can't find them. Okay, and it's the first level, it's 10-20.
Let's have a look around the town. Ram chip there was a regular.
Will Tomcat, I am a fish, making jam. These are all, most of these are regular players on PNL. That's why they're supporting this private members league tournament. Wow, it's flying by there.
I think there might be a couple of people sitting out here, James. What do you reckon?
I think there could be. It's flashing by, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we've got L Pig there with 2 pairs.
Against the 2 overs and the flush draw.
And the 2 overs decides to have a crack.
Ooh.
No sooner said than done. Pings his jack.
It's not a bad flop really and turn, you know, with a jack king suited. You got. I know it's a paired board,
It's
but
a paired board in a low stake pot. It's okay.
yeah,
I think
you're not going to get overly busy with this kind of hand.
Because again, you could. The problem is, isn't it? You could be drawing dead.
Could be.
And any situation where you could be drawing dead, you know, you've got to actually adjust the amount of outs you've got.
Yeah.
You can't say you've got all.
Well,
the outs.
you may not have any outs.
Exactly. So you've got to adjust that overall total. It's got to be reduced. And that's something actually we have been trying to discuss a little bit recently, or I have been trying to mention this quite a lot, is how we sort of got to reevaluate our outs. We can't just say, oh yes, I've got 6 outs, or I've got 9 outs, or 15 outs. Yeah, well, think. What could your opponent have? Why is your opponent there? What sort of hand is he like to have? And should you now actually be deducting some of your outs to allow for your real situation?
Are you going to take in consideration the action that's taken place before, how he's bet,
Exactly.
players in the pot, etc., etc.?
And also, if you've got a lot of a flop, you've got to start thinking, why is the person there? So this is another thing. You know, you get someone drawing the flush draw. Again, it might be, if they haven't got the nut flush draw, they might be drawing dead on the flush draw because the other guy's got the flush draw as well. So you've got to be aware of the whole situation. Sometimes people just look too clearly at their hand and say, oh yes, if I hit that, I'll win. Yeah, well, think again, pal, because maybe this is not the case. So you've got to get realistic with what your hand's worth, which I think is important. So, yeah, this seems to be flashing by here. So maybe there's a few of them not at the table, as you said.
Anyway, James, it's very much early stages, and I think we just had a quick look, and we've got the idea of how many runners there are, but we're going to be playing the top 5, and I think we may dip into the matrix and have a look somewhere else, see what else is going on. Well, this is very much in its early stages.
And we're flashing through that matrix.
Let's try a little cash game, shall we?
It's a baby cash game. It's 25.50 cents. You can buy in for $50 or $5. So Morrison limps in with Kojak. 6-8 on the small blind, makes up the small blind.
Nice flop.
Up and down straight for Morrison.
So we're talking about outs there. You're not going to get overly busy when it's like a flush draw as well, are you? With
Exactly.
It's a good comparison to you're making here.
Yeah, because you've got 8 outs. Actually, it's a great one. We'll just look at that already.
Yeah.
So he's got his up and down straight there, but there's 2 diamonds on the flop.
So
the way I would look at this, I'd say, right, with my up and down straight, I've actually got 8 outs, but there's a flush draw out there. I'm against 2 opponents. Well, let's say, okay, let's knock that down to 7 outs. Maybe it will, you know, because they mightn't have the flush draw, but they might have the flush draw. We'll not. I'll take an out away for that one, and then we'll look at the overcard and say, what's the overcard? And then we look at that and say, well, they've got to be there or something. Maybe I'll give myself an out back again for the king or something. So I'd say maybe this situation is back to 8 outs for this situation. And that's how you'd start to adjust your outs in different situations. What was strong about his situation, of course, was he had position. And, of course, we all know position in Nolan Bitolum is the business, isn't it? So he got check-check. It's an ideal position for him to do a semi-bluff, because he probably thought, well, I mightn't be winning. They might have a small pair, but I've got the sort of hand, if I do connect, I know I'll have the best hand. And
he's limped as well in early position, so he could have any hand.
He could have a bigger hand. He could have been
set,
hoping to get a re-raise with a bigger pair, so it's unlikely they're going to be too brave against him.
Up and down here again, look, with the king-jack against the... See the club? Perfect example again.
The perfect example.
You got the flush draw for Sod's... Was that Sod? I can't really read that well, but...
Yes, Sod SS, I think.
Yes.
Sods.
But yeah, the jack, once again, king jack.
Yeah, and actually, funny enough, even against there, it would have worked out quite well, because I said we'll deduct 1 out. Well, actually, the thing is, the guy actually already had the ace of clubs.
Yeah.
But the other out would have been, of course...
But he wasn't to know that, obviously.
No, he wasn't to know that. But I'm just saying, you've got to have a balance out there to adjust your outs in certain situations. Don't just take them cast iron for what they are.
A bet, a limit raise, a limit re-raise, and the biggest hand they can muster is a pair of 3s against a 10-eye flush draw.
Here tonight. Okay, pair of 5s, limps. I don't mind this in this game. It looks like people are limping a lot, and so therefore it's good value limping with the 5s, because it's a good...
I don't think the ace-king's going to allow this.
No.
Numero 37 is going to make a small... yeah, that's it. I think 450 is enough to get people's attention.
Okay, Sods is called. Maybe he'll attract a few more callers. Well, he got 1 more caller, so okay. If he'd hit his 5 there, he had a chance to make some money.
I think this pot's done and dusted now, James.
I think you're right.
I don't think with this kind of board, you've got to bet
12 into a 1475. He's put a strong bet in there. The pair of 5 should pass straight away.
Well, there's only 3 overcards on the flop to his 5, so...
It couldn't get much worse.
He's got to think to himself...
Straight draw.
Exactly.
Coming along as well.
And the king-9 wants to call.
Wow.
Drawing pretty thin as well.
That's a very ropey call, isn't it? Backdoor flush in his dreams he had.
Well, even if it's the king, he's in a world of hurt, isn't he?
Yeah, because...
The only card that really help him is the 9.
He probably thought the 2 pair would win, but even so, he's got 5 outs there, backdoor flush, maybe counted just about 6.
I suppose the only saving grace...
He doesn't know if they're going to win from, that's the problem.
Maybe think it was some kind of continuation bet from a guy who's missed, but what hand can he have that he's not going to bet the flop?
The problem is, if the guy's got the ace, he could well... We know he's got the king, but he could well have the king. Yeah. So his king, as you said, is...
Could have ace-9. He could have had 2...
Yeah,
so loads of ways
you can't say he's got the 5 outs. He's got a discount there, because the other guy said, I could be drawing dead, hitting my king.
Yep.
In fact, worse than drawing dead is he'll be doing all his chips if he hits his king.
Absolutely.
He'll jump up and down because he's hit 2 pair, and the other guy will say,
think he's a great player and think, thank you very much.
Yeah,
ship it. Oh, ace-king? That wasn't on the plan.
Yeah, so that's another reason for it. But actually, it was a pretty dreadful call, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Paul under the gun, king, queen. He limps. I don't mind that.
You had a good bank holiday, James? It's just quite weird. It felt like a Sunday coming in today.
You know what? I hardly recognise the difference between days. I don't recognise bank holidays. Every day is a bank holiday for me, so it's okay.
You poker pros, you know.
It just feels sort of different in the street slightly.
Yeah, it was a lot quieter coming into the studio.
A lot quieter. Okay, it's a raise from the small blind with ace-10. King Queen's decided to call it.
You know what? I like raising out the small blind, and you're going to ask me why, aren't you?
Yeah, well, go on and tell us, but I'm not totally against it.
I always like it when I flop the nuts as well. when you're in the... Come on, check it. That's good, man.
Very good. Yes, he's...
Come on, just a flat call now, Sod.
Yeah, don't
be a silly Sod.
Yeah, oh, look at that. Now he's actually... The guy's bluffed and hit his card. He could really... He's bound to bet again now.
Oh,
that always happens.
He's committed half his stack.
But whenever anyone bluffs and then hits their card, they always bet.
No, he has to just flat call. Good. Oh, look at this. He's hit his 2 pair. Now, he has to think...
He's checked again. He's very good play. Well done.
Well, he's got the nuts. Why wouldn't he check?
Well, no, people thought...
Paul's going to move in.
How many times you were saying... And he's gone all in.
Of course, it's always going to happen. He's hit 2 pair. He thinks
No, but how many times you see someone with a big hand that suddenly gives the game away?
But he knows that he's got him on an absolute leash.
Yeah.
He's got his absolute number here.
Yeah.
He knows Paul's going to do his stack.
Yeah.
Just check it down. You know, even if he thinks he's got a big hand, maybe a set. He's waited it out. I thought, good luck to you if it pairs up.
Exactly.
I'll take it on there. But
and that was good money play there. He maximised his win there.
Well, yeah, he got all his chips.
Yeah, maximised.
No, he played it well.
I'm saying good money play because in...
Sod done well there.
Right, in the tournament, maybe we get to the turn, you say, listen, I've got enough out of this, I'll protect my tournament life.
If you're with a king-queen, though, sitting there, and you've bet twice now, and he's flat called twice, I'm going to close off on the river, aren't you?
Yes. There's no advice.
Even if you
check it down on the river, because you're only going to get called if you're dead.
Yeah. Yeah. What does he think the guy's got? Pocket aces?
OK, he's thinking, oh, it's 118 to 1 that he's flopped the flush. You know, that's what he's thinking, basically, if he's suited. But
it's irrelevant.
But, yeah, it is irrelevant, because what's happened, happened.
Yeah.
But I'm saying I think that's what's in his mind. But the comment I made, and I've seen it so many times, when he's put the bluff in with nothing, but whenever people hit a card after they've bluffed, they get overexcited by it.
See, that's what I'm not going to do. Me, personally, I'm now going to check, think, I don't have to bluff anymore.
Right.
I could be in front.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is this is a bit of good advice for people. OK, you've tried a bluff, fine, because the guy might have been checking with weakness. That's right.
Yeah.
So that's good. Now, bing, you've hit your card. Don't get overexcited. You were pretending you had a hand before anyway. OK, now you've got a hand, but don't think it's the crown jewels, because it's not. So therefore, don't get overexcited there and then. I think what he was worried about, though, he in his mind just thought he's on a flush draw.
So you see 3 diamonds out there, you think flat call, maybe he's got the bare ace of diamonds. That's an easy situation.
He's got position there. He's made him pay something the first time anyway. I think there he's just got to be... He has to be a little bit cautious there.
After the second call on the turn, me personally, I'm going to absolutely shut down and check call. You know,
yes.
Even if you don't bet on the turn, I think if the guy does check on the turn, the Paul, and he ends up having to call a bet on the end, I don't think that the nut flush draw is going to be making an enormous bet to get paid.
He'll charge far less than he'd have paid.
$10, something like this, to try and get paid. Check call it down if he's hit the flush, or if he's made a bigger 2 pair, or a set or something like that.
And there's the other side of the coin is if the guy had been on a flush draw and you've checked on the turn now, if he's missed his flush draw on the river,
let him bluff.
He might actually bluff, and you'll now just capture the bluff because you decide in your mind just to check call.
So the king queen having outs, he had no outs.
No.
Because he was drawing dead on the flop.
That's what I said. In fact, that's what the topic earlier is, that people have to evaluate their situation.
Yeah.
But you haven't got the number of outs you think half the time. And of course, when you might be drawing dead, of course, this really affects the...
Now, there is one caveat that we have to add into there. We've only just joined this cash game. We don't know what this sod's been playing like. Now,
Excuse me, there's no need to be nasty about him.
Yes, very good. But SOD 66, no. Mr. Sod in the... I'm trying to be careful now.
Yeah,
okay.
I know.
Mr. Sod now in seat number... Yeah, okay. Silly old Sod. Okay, no. The guy in seat number 1 there. Is it seat 1? No, seat 8.
Seat 8.
The guy in seat 8 could have been playing like an absolute lunatic for the last half an hour. We haven't seen this. It may have been bluffing and calling and doing all... So Paul may have felt that, you know, he had the absolute, you know, much better situation than we could see. But... you know.
I bet Paul's thinking, Blumneck, flop the flush.
I'll get on telly.
Sod's law.
Sod's... Very good.
Oh, dear.
Very good. Yes. What a bugger.
Oh.
No, it's just in the dictionary. Anyway, Paul's back with us now with his... he just hit a set of jacks there as we were talking.
Right, we've got... I don't like the limp with Queen 4. How do you play this hand? Very difficult. What do you think?
Well, what do you want to see on the flop?
I don't know.
3 4s, maybe?
Well, I want to see...
See, there are so...
I want to see a ace and a...
Ace, king, rag of clubs.
Ace 2 of clubs or something, yeah. But I mean... Actually, I want to say ace 2 5 of clubs.
See, out of position, I don't mind you raising with the Queen 4, you know. Good luck, make a play. But limp and then call...
Wow.
And he could. I tell you, if he bets out here, he could actually take it down, which he didn't. Morrison with the inside, with the gut shot straight flush draw.
Yes, well spotted.
Oh, the guy from the Joey the Lips playing there. You see that?
Yeah.
Go on. Tell me what film it was from. Joey the Lips.
Oh, goodness. Joey the Lips. Okay, I give in.
The Commitments.
Oh, was it? Oh, yes. Oh,
remember?
Yeah, yeah.
The guy on the Honda C, whatever it was, C50. Yeah.
Joey the
anyway,
Lips.
sorry.
Okay, 9 ace 4. Anyone got an ace? No.
No, it's a 4 though.
Yeah, Numero has the 4, but...
Morrison.
Morrison
We've seen a lot of King Jacks this evening, haven't we?
Kojak again. And Joey the Lips would like to see a jack. Give him top straight.
Yes.
Looks tough
and not
to
a
find
heart.
One. Not a heart. It would worry him.
It would. Morrison doesn't want to see a jack, that's for sure.
Morrison takes that one.
Check on the river, why not? Little slick for Angelo 1 there with the ace queen.
What do you reckon he's going to do?
Two,
it.
150, 2, something like that.
Which one? Oh.
250, there you go. Only 5 times the big blind.
Yeah, I think it's a bit too big.
Yeah, me too.
But again, yeah, it is gone too big. You want to have some action with your big hands. It's quite a big hand in that seat there.
Wow, Paul, you see that 8-9 suited? He was in. He was up. To be fair, he was under the gun, but I'm definitely going to be limping in with these kind of cards.
You need to have some company though, to
especially when you may be slightly on tilt after doing your pieces with when the guy's got the nuts against you when you hit 2 pair on the river.
Well, you're not going to let that affect your play, I hope, Barry.
Me, never.
Okay, looks like I'm not a Ming. I'll be doing something eventually. 2 and SOD with the ladies.
See, you're allowed to say SOD. I've got to say his name. That's just it's not on really.
And it's a re-raise, 3 times the initial raise. He's declared that he's got a hand. Well, I think Paul is just kidding us. And I'm not a Ming call.
Good flop for the queens here.
Now he's out of position. It was an awkward call with an ace-jack, I think, because you're going to have to act first.
Well, you know, you could see a jack. He'd have probably done his money. He sees an ace. He could be up against a bigger ace. It's a trouble hand, ace-jack.
I don't like calling a re-raise with it. I think the guy's already told you he's got a big hand. And if you hit your ace, the guy might have well raised you with ace-king, ace-queen. In fact, I think it's a horrible call of a re-raise, to tell the truth.
Yeah. The only time he could have really won this pot is actually on the flop. But I don't think he's going to ever lay queens down to a 9-eye flop.
No. So he should have actually been thinking what happens next.
Yeah.
And the problem here is he's been told the guy's got a big hand. You just know he's got a big hand. He's 3 times your raise. He's virtually sure that he's got a big hand.
The only hand you want to see you up against is like 9s or 10s. That's the only hand that the guy could have to make that kind of play.
Yes.
But even then, is he going to make that play with that kind of hand? I don't think so.
A lot of players wouldn't make the play with that.
No, you'd flat call and try and see a flop.
Would. Exactly. So that's very good what you said. We've tried to work out, well, what hands do I want to see? Well, yeah, they're probably not going to happen.
Has he made the move against me with ace-10?
So the more we think about this, it is really a shocking call.
That's a shocking call.
It's a shocking call.
And it's also...
and the funny thing is, I don't mind his initial raise.
No.
I don't mind his initial raise.
Ace-jack suited?
I don't mind his initial raise at all. But you asked the question with your raise, didn't listen to the answer. And to finish it all, you've got to remember that he was out of position to the guy, because the guy is raised behind him, which makes it harder still. And in fact, that means you should be passing more hands than normal, because you've got to speak first. It makes it harder. Life is tougher.
Yeah, and it's not as though SOD has shown down any major bluffs or been making any mad moves. He's played pretty solid.
And he's got him covered in chips.
He has.
So, yeah, all the evidence was there.
He could have saved himself $4 very quickly.
Yeah. Well, that's 8 big blinds.
See, just because someone's raised in a pot doesn't mean you have to stick more chips in on the win because you feel like you've got a decent hand. You have to evaluate where you are.
Yes.
And there's only one position he thought he could have been, which was behind.
The best way to do it is to treat it like a fresh situation, if you can.
Absolutely.
So, OK, we know that you raised that $2 to start with. However, forget about that and think of it like a puzzle and say, right, you are in middle position, you raised with ace-jack, you've just been re-raised 3 times your initial raise. What do you do? And think of it like that, isolate it, forget about the rest of it and say, oh, well, it sounds like he's got a big hand, I'm out of position, yeah, I better pass. You'll probably get the right answer. Don't get emotionally involved with how you got there. Partition that away from your thoughts and just think of it as a puzzle. What is a problem? What should I do next? And I think in that case, if we did that more often, I think we get the right decision more often. Too much with, oh, God, I've raised him, oh, it's him again, I can't bear it. You know, you got me last time. Come on, forget about all that. It's the situation. And we let side issues bother us too much in poker, I think.
No, you're talking about tilting now.
Well, don't people let side issues bother them?
Of course they do.
Yeah, they do.
But that's life.
It is life, but we have to protect against it if we want to be a good player.
And that's why I think that anyone who participates in sport, pastimes, games, etc., always play at their optimal level when they're focused on one thing and one thing only. That's about the aspect of their particular moment, here and now situation, being in the zone, as it were.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
mean, it's not just about winning in poker. I mean, sometimes I think it's possible you can have your best night's play where you walk away losing, but you actually lost far less than most other people would have lost on the night. And that is just as an achievement as anything else. Because you've probably shown great discipline, you'd been horribly unlucky numerous times, but you didn't let it affect you, and you did lose, but you said, wow, you only lost that much with the luck you had, that's amazing. That could be your best night's play of your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's on the night. It's winning isn't. We want to win, but it's not that important. It's how we played is the important thing, and in the long run, that is what's going to determine how we do. So, and that is minimising your loss by playing well is just as important as the night when you win. Well, it's more fun when you're winning, I have to admit.
Of course it is, but you know, something that I was lucky enough to play with some very good players over the last few years, and one of the I'm going to name drop here. TJ Clutio said to me, he goes, the most powerful move in poker, the fold.
Yeah.
Now, I know it sounds a bit of a cliche, but it is. You know, to fold, it's not that easy.
No, it's not.
You know, to fold kings pre-flop, which we've all had to do, you know, and they say that you can't be a winner at poker unless you at least fold the best hand once a night.
Yeah. No, it is difficult, and it's a massive thing. To be a winner in fact, to be a winner in No Limit Hold'em, you've got to be able to fold.
Yeah.
That's it.
And the best hand sometimes.
Yeah, because you can't be, it's not keyhole surgery. We will make mistakes.
Yeah.
But as soon as you're able to pass the winning hand, it means you're able to pass loads of losing hands.
Yeah.
And that is the thing. And it's the whole basket of decisions that we make. And it's a result at the end of that. And I said, we're not the amazing Kreskin. We can't just say, oh yes, this is the one to pass, this one's not. We can't. It's situations. And if we analyse these situations correctly, yes, it'll benefit us in the long run. Even though occasionally you will have put down the winning hand, don't let it bother you. Just think of all the other ones where you've saved money. That's the way to think about it. Yeah, good point.
The fold. Actually, fun enough, I come back from Vegas after playing with TJ a little bit, and I had a post-it note on in front of my chips that said fold, and I won the tournament.
All right, yeah.
And you know what happened the next week? I played in another tournament, had the same post-it note. I was out about fourth, fourth hand in.
Well, actually, no. I remember. Actually, I was really quite chuffed when you said to me, because I know you'd gone through the tapes even when we'd done the commenters, the poker bowl here, the commentators, and you came to me and said, "My God, James, you did some great passes." You said so you didn't really get many cards, but you said you did some great passes.
You did.
And you said that was just came. You said, "I've watched the whole tape." You said,
"I've done the commentary.
Yeah,
I did the commentary."
He said, "You were right every time." He said, "Unbelievable."
Yeah, no. Yeah. You know, and if you can't make big laydowns, you'll never be a consistent winner playing, both, especially in tournaments. If you make the wrong decisions in no limit hold'em tournaments, you are dead and buried. Yeah. You'll never make it deep.
And the thing is, the principle which we like is, and we often go on about, we should keep on repeating. You know, it's easy as well because we want to be betters rather than callers as well anyway.
Yep.
Because when we bet, there's always a chance it'll pass the hand anyway. So if it's a grey area, don't be frightened about putting it down, and just make myself happy to say, right now, I've got these chips, I can use these myself. I can give the other guy the decision to make. And that's great. Let them decide what they want to do. And our chips is probably better for that, rather than calling some dubious call.
Raise and fold.
Yes.
Raise and fold. I've just had an email. We'll get to the emails a little bit later on, but I hear you're the Murray Walker of poker, so someone tells me. Is he talking about your very insightful and warm commentary, or the gaffes?
No, not the gaffes, I hope. No, it was from last night, I think. It was because last night, I think when Kara was playing Beat the Presenter, which she won, and she did very well indeed. I was very proud of Kara last night. She played, a play has definitely come on. It's really, really doing well, she is. I came across so many hands which were amazing last night. One of them was poor old Balrog, who started off by getting trip twos against Ace Jack, who'd clicked the Jack, and on the turn came a Jack, and then on the river came a Jack. How brutal is that? Anyway, the commentary I did was quite animated and in an exciting...
You're the same every night. You're always animated.
Okay. But this was even more so because it was hand after hand like this, and so I got named the Murray Walker of poker, which is quite ironic if you look at his Christian name.
Really? Who is it? We'll find out a little bit later.
If you look at this Christian name.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, we'll get to it later on. Anyway, if you want to send us an email, like someone's done, we'll get onto it later on. There are a number of ways you can contact us here, James and myself, at the Poker Night Live show. One of the ways is via email, which you'll see on your screen. Oh, we'll do text first, shall we? There you go. which is strange because it's never text first. Oh, it also always text. I'm joking, okay? The boys in the studio give me some grief in my earpiece, which is it's very unfounded. Anyway, text. You can text the studio right now using a phone, electronic device, carrier pigeon, whatever you want to do. Text the word poker within your question to 84222. That's 84222. Email the show as well, poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. And not forgetting the fine Poker Night Live website, which strangely enough is called pokernightlive.co.uk. Great forum, in-depth articles, a plethora of poker information for you.
Look at this. American Airlines against Big Slick.
I'll take the aces, I think.
Yeah, not a bad judge.
A nice flop though for
Big
Morrison.
Slick has got the king of spades.
He can get away from we can get away from it.
Two pair, of course, if I'm not a Ming.
I know you're a very statistical type guy. What's the worst matchup in Hold'em?
Oh yes, I think we've had this, haven't we? It's now it's either I'm going to put it. It's either King 2 or King 3 against a pair of kings.
Very good. King Deuce against a pair of kings. Do you know how big a dog it is?
I think it's about Around about 6%.
I just remember my notes. Yeah, you're right. It's about 5.8% against 95.
Oh, that's not too bad,
Very good. See, I told you you're a stats kind of guy. Not that you'd ever be caught in a pot with King Deuce, James, obviously.
Well, they keep on showing me with my King 8 in France.
That's true. It's great for the image, though. You're getting called down here left, right and centre. It's superb.
Listen, there's a lot of times in poker where I believe one should be playing the situation rather than the cards.
Absolutely.
And I'm just as capable of doing that as anyone else, I can assure you.
And the cards sometimes just don't matter.
But in other times, if you have the time to get big cards, of course you should try and use that.
And a lovely feeling it is too.
Yeah. Oh, and it's King, Queen.
The suited
On the button.
connectors. I wonder if Angel 01 fancies this. Ah, he's taken the lead. Oh, it's a weak bet, isn't it? 50 cents.
50
Now,
cents a
with
game.
the 7, I'm going to be even more dubious about Benzers having anything to do with it. The 50 on the flop just doesn't mean anything. Then the 50 on the turn when the second one comes is like saying, I still haven't got it.
But in the end there, Angel, although he's won that pot, he hasn't done well because what he did was, in the end, he let Benzers draw to his 6 outs twice just for the price of 50 cents, 50 cents.
Yep.
That was a mistake. That's a
call,
poker error.
The call on the flop, I don't mind. But the little...
Well, OK, I mind it if he plays like that afterwards, after he's hit
on the
his
turn,
card, yeah.
On the turn, when the second ace has come down, he's bet it again. Now I'm going to raise.
Yeah, well, he's first position. He can bet out there. Once there's been a check, once it's been the 50 cents he's called. Now on the next card, another ace. He could have actually tried something there, I think.
Well, no, he was last to speak, Angel. The button was on SOD. Benzers was in the...
No, Benzers was the...
No, it was 2 hands before. I guarantee you. He was first to speak. He bet 50 and then he called.
Benzers raised.
Yeah. He raised, didn't he, with King
Yeah,
Queen?
and Angel called.
Yeah.
Sorry. So Angel's first to speak. Yeah, Benzers raised in position.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's gone check call.
Yeah, he checked, and then the other guy bet 50 cents.
Yeah, yeah.
And he checked, the other guy bet 50 cents.
Okay.
But what Angel had hit the flop with his 7. If you're going to call with a funny hand like that, and the guy's shown a bit of weakness just betting 50, Angel could have actually re-raised his first 50, found out exactly where he was. Or if he wanted to just call that one, the next time he checks the guy bets 50, now he could perhaps have re-raised that one.
Yeah, that's where you make the
Right.
on the turn.
Well, one of those. But in the end, the way he's played it, he's actually let Benzers have draw twice to hit his overcards to take
And it's
the pot off him.
not an enormous dog, is he?
No. But he was getting value seeing his cards for 50 cents. So in a way, Benzers' bet worked for him. Because he actually managed to sort of sneak a chance to see those cards. So if it worked for Benzers, it meant that Angel must have done something incorrect, in a way. Now, the size of that Benzers put in the initial raise was 450, which is quite big. I'm not certain if I want to be calling that with 7-8 out of position. Yeah.
Wasn't that big, was it?
$4.50, I believe.
No, it wasn't. I didn't think it was an enormous call for Angel to make in the big blind.
Unless I missaw it, I thought it was a pretty big raise. So, and I was surprised that.
And that's why the 50-cent bet, if it was that big, was a ridiculous bet.
Yes, but as I said, it's not ridiculous when the guy doesn't do anything about it.
No, absolutely.
Because then it's serving its purpose. That's what I think he was doing. You know.
So I don't mind if he checks and then comes over the top like a check raise type situation. Then that's the play to make. But there you go.
Yeah. Okay. 3 clubs. No one's got a club, however. Morrison's got a pair of 9s, and the Angel's got nothing there. But Morrison bets, uses his position. And Angel's got a real hand this time. Oh, look, there's Benzers. He's made it 150 with ace-8. And good by Angel, that's better. He's actually put in a re-raise there, 450. He doesn't believe Benzers' raise here now. And a problem for Benzers. Oops, and he's called. That's a pretty horrible call there. What do you think of that?
Out of position. And look, does he only know there's a minimum bet button or something with this?
But now at least Angels now played properly this time.
Well, he had a hand, didn't he?
He did have a hand.
He can actually play back. So.
But he did raise it. He re-raised him before the flop with the jacks as well, so he played it quite aggressively.
But look, percentage of hands won. Benzer's right up there as far as, you know, nearly half the hands that he's played has won. So obviously doing something right. Or is he? Has he got more money than he started with? That's the big one.
I probably think he has. He probably thought he started with 50 here. I think this game hadn't been going too long. But let's watch this space because it's too early to decide who should be winning. We haven't seen enough hands.
He loves betting the minimum, doesn't he? Look, another 50-cent bet. It was a good flop for him, you know. Paul's thinking, okay, I'm not sure what to make of it, but I'm you know, out of position here.
Good flop for him, but he wants runner. Maybe. Oh, now he does.
Oh dear.
Whoa! He's bet 250 now with a 9.
Joey the Lips gets on his horn.
I'm not a
blows out
there for with 6s anyway.
He was priced in, wasn't he? 3 callers with 50 cent. He thinks.
Oh, he was a 50 cents. Yeah, of course it was just a little bet. Yeah, that's what sucked him in. Yeah, of course. No, he was right. That was okay. Sorry, I'm.
Poor old Paul XF.
You were right to call with the 50 cents. You could have hit your trips, mate.
Poor old Paul there with the queens. No action at all. Oh, that's horrible, isn't it?
He's got action now.
Oh dear. And he checks it to him. Now Paul's thinking, okay, I'm going to get my money
50
back.
50 cents.
That may have saved him, that 9.
He's going to pay something, isn't he?
He will.
SOD's 150.
Yeah, he'll pay that.
Yeah.
He's thinking.
I don't think he'd have paid.
My nemesis. Thank you.
I think SOD actually picked the right price there.
I think if it had only got queens, I think it'd have gone for something like $3.
No, but the queens had shut up shop, hadn't it? It had actually checked.
The 9 was a bad card for Sod to get paid.
Yeah.
You know, and Paul was thinking to himself, oh, this has got horrible.
Look at this massive raise with the $4, 8 big blinds with Ace King. Now, not too big numero, please. You want to get into a contest, okay? 150, I'd have probably gone. Keep it. Give them a chance to fight.
He's not going to get any business, is he?
No.
With the filth that people are
holding.
Slightly
overbet it. And when you have these big hands, you do want to get into a contest in a money game. You don't want to win the blinds.
Yeah, but you know, do you want to limp in and take a chance?
I'm not saying limping, but I just would I would make it 3 big blinds.
The problem you've got,
make it more chance of the big blind puts $1 in to see you.
The problem you've got is you've got some guys winning a few dollars and stuff. Wants to now call a guy behind calls. Now you're pricing the whole table in against your kings.
You are, but I mean, I don't want to win the blinds with it in a money game. I want to. I want to fight. You know, and listen.
But now you can't. But now you can't. If you're a 5-way in with kings,
you're still in good shape.
You are, but you know,
you're just not going to win the pot that many times.
No, and you really don't know where you stand because it could come, you know, 6 deuce jack.
Oh yeah, of course.
And the guy could have 2 pair in the big.
It's dangerous now, and you're going to have to be prepared to be able to put the hand down.
Yep.
If it happens like that, but we haven't seen too many 5-way pots here. Let's have a look at this kings here. Let's see how much he bets.
Sod's been probably the most intelligent player at the table so far. He's played his big hands very slowly when he's flopped a monster like he did with a flush.
Okay, he's been even more with the kings.
See, I give him the...
you give him the G up.
I'll say to him, Sod, you're different gravy, sir. You played it... 3? 3?
6 big blinds.
Dear me. You see, kings... Big pocket pair, 220 to 1. You get them every 220 hands, pocket kings, and you want to stick that much money into the pot.
6 big blinds. You know, forget about the money. It's 6 big blinds. We don't have to be that dramatic with it. If you're in a wild game where blinds don't make any difference, fine if it fits in, but it doesn't fit in with the pattern of play. So we've got to check out what the pattern of play is at that table. And the re-raise from I'm Not a Minger there took the money. Angel, no, and queens. We've seen a lot of pairs here.
We have big pairs as well. Kings and queens 3 or 4 times now. I wonder if sods. So that's more like the raise I like. 3 times the big blind. Try and price in.
You've got a chance
A6
because the big blind
suited.
might pop $1 in. Exactly.
Yeah.
And okay, it doesn't matter. It just happened. But it's a money game. You want to try. It's a chance to pop in $1, and that's what he did.
Even with his A6, he can't be overly happy about his kicker.
It's bet 350. Is the queen's good enough? No, paid him off.
Okay, let's, before we go into our first break of the evening, James, I think we'll do a couple of emails that we've got coming.
Okay, good idea.
Now, got one here from TM DVD. TM, thank you very much for your email. It says, hi, James and Barry. James, the Murray Walker of poker. I can't believe... Yes, no, I won't do the Murray Walker impressions. I'm not very good at impressions.
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad, it wasn't great. Enjoying the show as always. Barry, I hope you don't think I'm... fawning unnecessarily. No, I don't. Of course I don't. But I was at the PNL party, and what a great evening we had. A big thank you to all your stuff. Oh, right, you was at the Friday night party where all the Poker Night Live people come down to the gut shot, and I had a wonderful time. There was a few, there's a few images flying around of our emails, a few of the more less sober members of the crew had some fun, which was quite handy because Sam, the creative director, picked up the bill, which was always handy for the bar. Good for business, thanks Sam. Anyway, big thank you to all your staff who made us feel so welcome, and a very special thanks to the chef for the food. He is very good, he is very good. We do wonderful food down at Gutshot, not wishing to wave the flag, but try the burger, it's very good. I'm a member who has been down quite a few times and always enjoyed the atmosphere, and it's one of the very few places where British people who previously have not met start spontaneously talking to each other. See you soon. Regards from TM. TM, I'm glad you had a great time. You know, amongst the rest of the PNL guys and girls, you know, they're a great bunch, and I'm sure you had great fun at the gut shot, and hope you enjoyed the poker. Was you down there, James, for the night?
I wasn't. I was actually playing at the festival at the Western.
Okay.
Night, so.
Okay. Now you mentioned a little earlier, James, about you coached Cara the other night Cara, sorry, in the she won her first, I believe, Beat the Presenter.
Yeah, she did. She did very well.
Well, the winning situation has continued for her, and she sent us an email.
Oh.
So. She goes, oh, James, thanks for the shout out. Thanks very much. He was singing your praises earlier as well, by the way. I was playing online today, she says, in a 10-seater, $10 tournament, and was trying to bear in mind all the tips you gave me yesterday. Did well, cash, but probably was playing a little bit too timid as I went into the final 3 with a very short stack. Not bad though, you still made it. Early in the tournament, was still 9 at the table, had ace-king in late position, 3 people limped in before me. I raised it to 3 times the big blind, and the limpers all folded, but the big blind called. The flop came queen, queen 3, rainbow. Not bad. The big blind checked, hoping that this meant weakness. The table had been incredibly loose up to this point. I put in a continuation bet to just over half the pot, bearing in mind your advice on my 2 small raises last night. He then raised all in. I couldn't cover his stack and assured he must have had a queen, and by checking was trying to trap me. I folded, turned out he had ace-7. You did nothing wrong. You've got to make these laydowns now and again. Was I right to fold? This is probably a no-brainer, but as a newbie, I wanted to check. Thank you, James and Barry. Looking forward to working with you in June. Barry, I'm looking forward to it as well, Cara. Right to fold, queen, queen 3 flop?
Right, I don't know what the character is. This is also, it's a sit and go, so we have less chips to play with. It's difficult.
Yep.
10 sit and go, so we have less chips to play with. I can't really blame you for putting it down. You put the bet in, you'd represented a hand, and he was brave enough to come over the top of you. So I can't really shout at you for putting it down. Funny enough, this is a strange situation there, because you've got a position where you could have even not put the continuation bet and just checked.
I'd have checked, actually. Anyway, look, phone-in's coming up. We're going to speak to Mr. Mike Lacey. Mike, Mr. Mike Lacey, welcome on the phone. How are you, sir?
How are you, Barry? I'm not too bad.
Excellent work, sir. Excellent work. I believe you've had a very, very busy weekend watching the second leg of the Showdown Poker Tour. Tell us a bit about it.
It was a 3-day event. 20 players turned up to pay their €5,000, or they'd qualified online. In the wisdom of the organisers, they actually kept it over the 3 days. So it was a 1.5-hour clock with 10,000 chips and 20 players.
Hold on. 3 days, 20 players. How did they do that? One level a day?
Almost. I think it was about 4 levels a day.
Wow. I know, you know, I've got some understanding of the Showdown Poker Tour because we had the Showdown Poker Tour at the Gut Shop only 3 or 4 weeks ago. It was a much bigger success. I think we had 26 runners at our particular event, all paying €5,000 each.
Oh, really? I didn't hear the numbers of that. So
yeah,
that was low
26.
as well.
Oh, yeah. Now, Mike, you know, you've been around poker long enough. You've played some big events yourself. Why is it not getting the kind of the level of expectation of numbers that say like EPT had got, especially in the early stages? You think?
I think one of the things is I don't think it was marketed hugely well compared to what the EPT was. Also, I think they started off too high.
Yeah.
They've gone in at a level higher than the EPT. The first EPTs were €1,000 to €2,000 entry fees, and that got good fields. And the next year it was on, people knew there was going to be a good field, and they're buying up and still got the runners.
Yeah, that's a very good point because I know just to obviously you know I've dealt with the 2 guys that actually run the Showdown Poker Tour, and you know they've worked really hard to try and get this thing going, and I'm sure you saw them working very hard over in the Fitzwilliam Club in Ireland there, Mike. But you're right, you know, a 5,000 event just to kick it off is it's a big number to try and get, especially when you're trying to get a lot of online qualifiers, James, which is where they saw that you know a big percentage of their runners are going to come, because if you don't. You know, if you don't get the large numbers of online qualifiers, you're not going to get the pros entering, are you?
No, you need to have the support of both, don't you? But if you get a lot of qualifiers from the internet, of course, it encourages other people to join, because they think, oh, there's a bit of value there.
Well, let's ask Mike. Mike, would you have played if there were 60 or 70 online qualifiers, maybe?
Maybe I would have done, but to pay €5,000 and basically nearly all the field is very tough. There's no value for somebody like me to take a shot. Obviously, if I'd won a seat, I'd have been happy to have only 19 players to get through to win the first prize, but it wouldn't be something I would be buying into, no.
Anyway, I think we'd better find out what happened in this tournament.
Yeah,
was over 3 days.
It may be still going on. What's happening, Mike? Is it finished?
It eventually finished. Andy Black was 4th. I think they took some money off the top because only 4 players came back for the 3rd day. There was 2 Swedish guys in 2nd and 3rd, and it was eventually won by Jeff Sharp from the UK.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
I believe he won a seat online, so there's one for the online qualifier.
Excellent. That's good stuff.
So what happens next? Is there another stage to this?
There is. I think it's six events during the whole. There was 8. Barcelona and Vienna were the first 2. They actually fell out of bed, and Gut Shot was the first one.
Right.
And you know, it's quite a strange story. They actually came to us and said, we want a €10,000 event. And we said, you know, we really don't think that's, you know, going to be a runner, especially us being the first. We actually wanted like 2 or 3. They said 7. We agreed on 5. And, you know, maybe, like Mike said, having a €2,000 or €3,000 buy-in would have been a much better shout in the early stages. But
there certainly would have been a lot more local qualifiers. I mean, in the Fitzwilliam, they ran a lot of satellites, but most of them never even made enough for a seat. So, whereas it had been 2,000 or 3,000, they would have probably got 15 to 20 seats just in the Fitzwilliam through satellites.
I'll tell you what, maybe we're going to have a talk about this later tonight. I actually feel that a lot of the people putting on poker festivals need to have a little rethink about the pricing structure, because I think they're all pushing it too high.
Well, we actually had to run, because of the lack of interest from our members, we had to run a dual main event by running a £500 main event. We added 5 grand. We ended up 170 runners for the 500, which was
I worry even that some of the festivals that push in 750s midweek. I'm thinking that's a bit too expensive. I just think 500 is nearer the mark, and I think generally they're just trying to push up a bit too high. I don't know what you think about that, Mike.
Well, over here there would be a lot of events around the €500 mark, which is what, 300 sterling. And they would normally get 120 to 180 runners. So,
Mike, we're going to have to cut you off, mate. We're going to a break. We've got someone to pay for this. We're going to be back very shortly. Poker Night Live. Hi, welcome back. This is Poker Night Live. I'm Barry the Bully Martin, alongside Mr. James 007, Murray Walker, voice of poker, player extraordinaire, Mr. Browning. Is that good enough?
It's not bad at all, yeah, I'll accept that.
Oh, good. Well, I have to, because you've won me 100 chips in my Beat the Presenter so far by playing the King 8 very subtly.
We'll
we're going to see that later. Anyway, look, I'm going to be playing Beat the Presenter. We're on this one of these longer, the 2,000 chip ones. It's a $20, I believe I'm playing.
Could be a bit too long for Barry. You could get bored.
And I've just been dealt aces, so I'm going to raise. Oh, I pressed fold by mistake. Oh, outrageous. Can't do two. See, not a girl. Can't do two things at once. Difficult multitasking. Not good. Anyway, look. Please get in contact with the show. You know, you make James and my life a lot easier when we got emails and we can interact with you guys and girls, and you know, we enjoy it. We don't be stuck here on a bank holiday without, you know, some interaction of some sort. So get in contact with the show. Text is a way to get through. So text the word poker within your message somewhere, which I'm sure it's going to be difficult not to. To 84222, that's 84222. Email, you know the email, it's on the screen, there you go. And the web address, it's like similar to the email with some W's at the front. There you go.
All right, Barry.
Okay, look, I'm gonna limp in. I'm gonna limp into the. I have limped in here.
Oh, you've limped.
I have limped.
He's not bluffing.
I'm not bluffing. I have limped, and I'm going to re-race to the race.
Okay, we'll have a look now at a $10 sit and go. And here it is. It's the beginning stages, and it's the old structure, the fast structure. And we've got Hissig Prop. He makes a flat raise with King Queen. Caliman calls, and the real hand, look, I'm losing. You don't look like you're losing to me, however, has done 3 times the initial raise, so he's made it 120. Asked them a big question, because that's quite a significant amount of someone's starting stack. Mr. NJ Chip, oh my goodness, what's that all about? Called with Queen 7 of Hearts, and he's managed to get a flush draw. This is outrageous. He might do it forevermore. What, you'd call a re-raise?
Well, you want to see some of the plays going on in here? Ah, he's made a flush on the river. That's outrageous. Sorry.
Well, Mr. Chip there bets 60. Caliman calls with Queen Jack. What's going on? Caliman, you've got nothing. This is unreal. Well, look, I'm losing. Has still not been frightened away with his pair of 10s. He's got the overpair to the board. And, of course, Mr. NJ Chip's got the 3, which gives him a straight draw as well as his flush draw. He bets 160. Look, I'm losing. He's got a decision to make, but there's a lot of money in the pot. Oh, and he passes. Wow, what have we seen here? Well, I'm scratching my head at some of the poker I've just seen. I'd like to see a rerun of it all, just to analyse every play going on there, because it's left me just a bit dizzy, that one. Big Shan, pair of jacks. He's put 4 times a big blind. Abasak with the deuces, he calls.
Oh, hello.
What a sweet flop, says Big Shan. And he checks it. Leaves the door open for Abasak to have a bet. He does have a bet.
He can't be raising here, Big Shan, can he? Never.
It's a slow deliberation and just a call, I think. Oh, he's hit the deuce! Oh my goodness! It's all happening here.
I was going to raise on the button there, but I'm not going to. I'm going to watch this then. Oh dear.
Big Shan's wondering, how can I get paid? He doesn't realise, of course, Abasak's got the deuce. Here's the 8, and watch this. This is going to be a massive bet from Abasak. He's bet 160. Big Shan, how much more can I get? He's thinking. What price shall I make it? Oh, 560. Abasak, all in.
No, really?
Yeah.
With the underhouse. Oh, what a great hand.
My goodness, we're really seeing some hands here these days. It's unbelievable. What a turn card. Sweet, what a turn card for Big Shan. And...
Don't you just hate that, the house over the house?
And, as I said, whenever you make a bluff, which basically betting with a pair of twos virtually is a type of bluff, whenever you connect, of course, you just can't see anything else but what's happened.
Absolutely.
And you forget, why was the other guy here at all? Why did he like it? It's all out your head. You're only thinking about what's happened to you. Okay, look, I'm losing. He's got the top pair. Queen with a king kicker. He's also got the heart in his hand. RJK has got a middle pin straight draw. And Hittig prop. Had nothing. Well, there's not too many hands out here, but we'll see if RJK... No, Kaliman just gets the blinds. Barry, have you been looking after those chips I won for you or not?
Yes, very well, actually.
Oh, good. Kate Queen surrenders and look, I'm losing takes the blinds. Well, Ace Queen for RJK. What price is he going to make it? Just flat calls. Ace Jack. Look, I'm losing. He might do a raise from the small blind. He does. And RJK's got position. It's going to cost him 60. He's getting 2 to 1 his money because there's 120 in the middle. $200 from Look, I'm losing. A continuation bet. Aqua, Ace Queen has got the problem. Wow, no problem at all. He's seen right through Look, I'm Losing's play, and he's put the re-raise in. Well, Look, I'm Losing has to pass here, and he does. Well done for the pass anyway. But RJK, you read that like an open book. Amazing. Mr. NJ there with Ace Jack. Makes it 80. Yeah, we had a question earlier from Kara, actually. She was mentioning about that hand she had where she had the ace-king, she'd raised pre-flop, and then the flop came queen, 3. The first person checked, and then she did a continuation bet. Kara, you don't always have to do a continuation bet, because if you always do a continuation bet, people know that you do a continuation
especially on the paired
bet
board.
all the time.
Paired board looks weak, I think.
It does, and in this case, if you'd actually, supposing you'd done your pre-flop raise with ace-queen, there's a good chance that you wouldn't bet. And that's what people think. They think, oh, well, if you'd got that queen, maybe you'd have just checked. So, in fact, they suddenly think, oh, you're just trying to take this down now, and that's why he came over the top of you. So, therefore, you've got to vary your play a little bit. You can't just be doing a continuation bet every time. This case was a case where you had position. You could have actually just put a little check there and contained the size of the pot. And now your opponent says, ooh, were you checking with strength or weakness? You did raise pre-flop, and now if they haven't connected, it's harder for them to do anything. But he now suddenly thought, oh, well, if I put it a re-raise, that will look extra strong, and I think I'll get Kara to pass. So therefore, you could have made his life more difficult, probably, in that case, just by checking.
Especially if you've been playing quite timidly, like she said. If you've been given off that kind of, you know, way of playing, then they probably think she can only call if she's got a queen.
Yeah.
Which she didn't have.
Yeah.
unfortunately.
So there's just another little situation there, and you can make some notes on that, Kerr, as I'm pretty sure you will. You walked away with a nice paper full of notes last night, which you said you were going to stick next to your computer, which is great. But don't worry, and you're making, well, you got the prize money again, so excellent. Well done. And the fun thing is, Barry, is that she's really loving it now. She says it's such great fun, and she.
You sounded almost like, you know, the pair, the two tailors. Oh, you're loving it. Oh, are you loving it? Oh, rub the badge. Oh, sir. Oh. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, and this is
Maybe we should get him on the show.
That'd be a good idea, wouldn't it?
Moving with King, sir. Oh. Anyway. Yes.
You should have seen Kara's jig when she won, though. Wow.
Her what?
Her jig.
She jigged.
Oh, yeah. It was great, yeah.
Yeah?
It was a victory dance.
It's like a rub down from like a virtual rub down on the TV.
She was so happy.
Any other of the girls have won a tournament?
Yeah, I believe they have, yes.
Good.
I think Michelle did. I think Michelle might have won more than one, I think. And I'm not sure, I think maybe Lindsay's even won one.
Good.
I think. Look, I'm losing. Says, right, the time is nigh. I've got to push my chips in here. I see there's a bit of money in the middle. I'm going to try and make you all
Fair
pass.
spot. On the button as well.
Yep.
It's a good time to be pushing.
And managed it. Well done. And you've just picked up 140 chips there, which is actually a significant percentage.
Yeah, quarter of your stack.
So that was playing a situation, and you spied your situation, and that was good. Now, Kate Queen has got American Airlines and the big blind. So it'll be interesting to see how this pot unfolds.
Flat call.
Well, flat call, he's already there. He's on the big blind, Barry. You didn't have to call anything.
What was it? Oh, sorry, Mr. Chip was... sorry, I'm just trying to play two tables. I'm not very good. Multitasking's not my... Oh, look at this. He flopped the straight. Oh, it's great, isn't it?
The amazing thing here is that K-Queen put in a massive raise and Mr. Chip called with 7 jack.
And then flopped the straight.
But he's the same guy who early on won all the chips with Queen, when he called a re-raise with Queen 4 of hearts.
Nice. Hit a flush?
No, in the end he bet the guy out the pot. But he ended up on the turn with a flush draw and a middle pin straight draw with his Queen 4.
Why not?
Well, that was some flop for the Jack 7, wasn't it? How can the Jack 7 call a raise of 240 pre-flop? Amazing. The bigger the raise, the more Mr. NJ likes it. Anyway, he's now putting the pressure on Look, I'm losing. That's a better play there. He just squeezed him out of it. Don't mind that one. Oof. 5 times the big blind with a pair of 6s.
He might not be able to lay it down. If he comes over the top all-in hissing here...
Well, he won't put it down, no.
You're not going to put the 6s down, is he? No, I'm talking about the 6s.
No, he'll call with the 6s.
I think he's going to call with the 6s.
On past history. Yeah, easy. Look, easy.
Yeah.
Pair 6s, I've got a monster. And here comes...
A blank.
Hissig prop survives. Well, and that was a terrible call of the re-raise there by Mr. Chip with a pair of 6s. Again, you know, what do you hope your opponent to have? I mean, what you're doing is you're hoping that he hasn't got a pair,
Pocket
because
fives?
in which case you're in really bad shape. And do you think he'll be doing it with a pocket 5, that big re-raise? I don't think so. So
No.
we can kick that one out. And if he's probably got 2 suited overcards or something where you're a small
Look at
favourite.
this. He now wants to call a raise with the ace-10.
He's absolutely fearless. Big Shan there, of course, has missed. Oh, he said, oh, listen, I've seen too much. I'm betting anyway. Oh, Mr. Chip put a hand down. Must be because he's gone down to 2,400. He thought you better start
rocking up.
Counting the pennies. Yeah, rocking up. I can't imagine him ever be turning into a rock funny, Mr. Engine.
Yeah, yeah.
And RJ on the button. Big raise here again, 4 times the big blind. And he's found a hand here. And here comes a re-raise with a pair of 9s. But he's only re-raised 120. But it's enough, and RJ's put it down. Personally, I think he should have raised just a bit more to really have got rid of him. He doesn't particularly want to play on with the 9s. He's got probably what is a winning hand. But I think he wants to really ask the bigger question there. He wants to increase his fold equity as much as he can with that hand. Because it's not the sort of hand he wants to see go to the river particularly. It becomes difficult to play. I can hear a little bit of tapping in the background. Barry attempting multitasking again. Always dangerous.
I'm getting rubbed down on the text box.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. I'm being likened that I look. I look like.
Come on then.
I look like a football hooligan now.
Oh.
It's outrageous. Well, this shirt was very expensive. You won't get a football hooligan in this kind of shirt.
Well, if he pinched it off someone.
Anyway, look. This is really nice.
All right.
What someone's put in as a flirty Liz says, I think it makes him look much younger. Then a little couple of lines later, yeah, younger than James. Thanks, guys. Thanks for that.
Ooh.
They're rubbing us both down now from afar.
What Flirty Liv says?
James is a love.
Oh, Flirty Liz.
So they've got me on text till. I've actually sat out the last hand.
Yeah, you've got to your head there and distracted you.
They've got me. Yeah, they've got me on slightly text tilt here.
Flirty Liz, we haven't seen you on the tables. We haven't had emails from you. Now, come on, what is going on? Hissig prop there with the ace-king, big slick. He makes it 560. Well, I've got some really random betting going on in this game tonight. Whoa, look at this. What an overbet. 480 with king-queen. Takes it. Big Shan, Queen 4. Mr. NJ would have liked it. Queen 4 suited. The start of his success, that was. And it's 240 from a pair of 10s. Mr. NJ checks. RJK here with the pair of 10s. And he asks the question, he takes it down. Big Shan, pair of jacks, under the gun. We've got 5 players left, 3 prizes of course. 4 times the big blind under the gun. Okay, I don't mind that so much. Mr. NJ, Queen 3 suited. Yeah, I thought you might have a dabble at that. Loves the suited. I don't like it, of course. It's a really dodgy hand to play. And there's one of the reasons there's an ace-queen there, which puts him in a dominated situation. And he calls it. He's absolutely fearless with his calls, Mr. NJ. And there we go. He's lost a few more chips back. He was a big chip leader before NJ, but it's they're disappearing fast. And in fact, Big Shan is chip leader now. And Hissy Prop is second. But NJ's got a few back and taken second place again. He had a real hand there, pair of eights. RJK on the small blind with Queen 9. Not too much out here. Oh, Mr. NJ will go wild with that ace-10, I would imagine. Here we go. Watch this. Watch this space. Yep. Oh my goodness. How right was I? He did go wild. 2,190. Well, Hissy Prop says I don't fancy that. RJK, 10 Jack of Hearts. And he cranks it up, takes down the chips. Well, it's definitely a table of big bets, isn't it? Blinds at 81.60. So, Look I'm Losing is the one a bit under pressure there. He's only got 760 and it's a pair of nines, making it 2,000. And that's taking some extra chips there because we had Hissy Prop donated 160 as well. Well, look, I'm losing. It could be a good time, I think. Yes, he's seen it. He's used it. I agree with him. I've done the same play. He's unlucky, though. He's walked into Mr. NJ, who's actually got a hand this time, pair of tens, and he's just done a flat raise, knowing that that'll virtually get Hissy Prop in anyway. King 2-9. Only one escape route for Look, I'm Losing. It's a 7. Oh! Yet again we see this. Unbelievable. We've been a couple of nights of amazing escapes. And there's another one on the river. A lucky 7 for Look, I'm Losing. And look, I'm losing. Look, you're winning. Unbelievable. Very unlucky Mr. NJ there. You had the better hand. You got cooked on the river. 6-7 suited for NJ. Imagine this is his type of hand. And there we go, raises with it. Makes it 320. And it's down to the big blind, who, believe it or not, is actually winning with Jack 3. But it's hard for him to realise that. And Mr. NJ collects 240. Which was a bargain with his 6-7. Big Shan will surrender. RJK cranks it up, all in he goes, and he's been called, but he's got the flush draw, but the Queen Jack of course is winning, but he's got an up and down straight and a flush draw, and he's made the straight on the river again. We've seen it yet again. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The underdog comes, storming finish. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on the river. Yet another escape. And he's back in the game again. Now, poor old Hissigprop. You've got a king, mate. I think I'd have to push myself. That's probably better than you're going to get on an average hand.
He saw the big blind, thinking he's never going to pass.
Well, he's like to be favoured against him, though. We could see he wasn't, but... And he's actually ended up reasonable hand. In fact, he's ended up in a better situation, but that was fortunate. Well, now he's got a proper hand. It's all going from Hissigprop now. Let's see if he can fight back from here. Is Mr. NJ going to add some money to the pot? Yes, he does! It's a great result for Hissigprop. He's now gone all in, of course. And... oh, and look, I'm losing. He stayed in there. Whoa, I thought he'd have been frightened out. But he's there with the king. He's winning with the kings. He had a flush draw as well, and it's a big win for Look, I'm Losing. Very unlucky for Hissigprop there. Had a nice situation. It was a chance to get right back in the tournament. I thought that Mr. NJ was going to frighten out the king 6. So I don't know how on earth he decided he should call. But he did, and it really went well for him. And... it's put him chip leader. And we lost a player, so we're down to 4. Battle of the Bubble. 3 prizes, 4 players. The tension mounts. RJK on the small blind was 6-5. RJK cranks it up. Oh, look at this, we've got a 3-way pot, my goodness. And RJK has clicked 2 pairs, but Mr. NJ, thank you very much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now, Look, I'm Losing has turned this into a flush. This is absolutely unreal. Is there a house coming on the river? That's all we could expect. No, it isn't. And Look, I'm Losing is absolutely cleaned up there. Poor old NJ had the straight on the flop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look, I'm Losing, who had a straight draw as well as the flush draw, makes a flush on the turn. And RJK was there with 2 pairs on the flop, and we're down to 2. And Look, I'm Losing has got the chunk of the chips.
People who are actually in the text box are listening to you commentate, and oh, you got it on as well. You can read it, but it doesn't get much better than this, James. Watching me play, listening to you commentate. Well, I'm not listening to me play, but watching me play, but listening to you commentate. I'm enjoying listening to you commentate.
Good. Big Shan, 2-4-60 against 5-5. 40. He makes a move, ace-4, I like it. Back to 27-80. They've got a little bit of play here. Look, I'm Losing, decides to put that down. Oh, it's a big one. This could be it. Big Slick against the pair of deuces. The pair of deuces is a small favourite, but not now because the ace-king is clicked the ace on the flop. And it could be all over. It is now. Ace-king, queen, jack, 10. Broadway for Look I'm Losing. He's had a spectacular comeback in this tournament. And he is the winner. Well, that was one of the liveliest sit-and-goes I've seen. This chip graph, I mean, whoa, what's it all mean? What's it all mean? People shooting up and down like fireworks. It's amazing.
Be careful what you say.
I don't understand half the plays I've seen there, I have to admit. There was a wild play. It made Barry the bully look like a rock.
Yep. I'd like to be in that game. I'm not. I'm in this game, though.
You're doing okay in that
go.
one.
I made a really good lay down with nines just a second ago. You'll see that.
Jolly good. We'll be watching everything, Barry.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. I think we've got a couple of emails here. Let's check them out. Okay, an email from Mr. X. What kind of bankroll should you have for... is it 5 cent? Oh no, 50. I think it means 50
cent $1.
50 cent $1 fixed limit.
Yeah.
Is it different from no limit and pot limit? By the way, I've seen every show. Regards. Oh, brilliant. Well done, Mr. X. Keep on watching and hopefully keep on learning. Right, yes, fixed limit is different from no limit. Last night I was talking about bankroll requirements, and I think I perhaps made people sit up when I said exactly how much you should need. And I'll repeat what I said. I think it's important. For a no-limit game, I think you need to have 40 maximum buy-ins when you're playing. It's a lot, I know. I.e., if you're playing 2-4 no-limit, I think you should have a bankroll of 16,000. Because there's loads of fluctuations and you should feel completely relaxed when you're playing. You should be able to be wiped out in a hand and just be able to say, right, maximum buy-in again so I can play using all my weapons. Limit, a little bit slightly better for you. In this game, 50 cent $1, I think you need 300 big blinds. So in that case, I think you should have $300 for a limit game. And that should handle the fluctuations in the limit game, so in the fixed limit. So anyway, thanks for your email, Mr. X. Keep on watching, and please send in some more emails. That was a good question, and especially following on from what we talked about last night. Let's have a look here, and we've got another one, and this is from Derek. Oh, well, I can't believe this. Nice beard and haircut, Barry. No, I think I must have read it wrong. No, it does say it.
Nice beard and haircut.
Nice beard and haircut. Yeah, he looks...
Slight angle of sarcasm, do you think?
He looks... I don't know, I think he meant it.
Hi, Derek. How are you, mate?
How are you, Derek? Good to hear from you. I can guess which one it is.
Yes.
Okay, let's have a look at some more games here. It's MTT and it's green. And we have the chip leader on this table, which is 10,627. And we are down to 14 players. And perhaps our wonderful guys in the gallery can tell us what the total number of chips was in this tournament. And they're going to check now. They were trying to find a way not to find out for me, but they're going to do it. They're good guys. Okay, the blinds are 250, 500. Flop of 8, 3, 4. The nuts. I like that. Good spelling as well. Makes it 1,000 with Kojak. Probably Barry's favourite hand.
Oh, that's it. One small text about my haircut and beard, and you know, comparing me to Telly Savalas. Although he did win a World Series event, didn't he?
Really?
Did you not know that?
No, I did not know
Telly Savalas won a World Series bracelet.
that. Wow.
7-card stud, 1979 or something. I think it was 7-card stud. I can't remember, but it was.
I saw him play blackjack a lot.
No, he was a big punter in the casinos.
Yeah, he played blackjack a lot in the London casinos. I was in London casinos, the Park Tower and Barracuda and places, and he was playing black. He used to love to play blackjack. Not particularly well, I have to add.
You know what they used to say when he walked through the door? We love you, baby.
Oh.
Okay.
You know what he said? I only came here for the lolly.
Okay.
Ace King does the big re-raise.
He shouldn't be remembered just for his Kojak role. He was a very good actor, actually, Telly Savalas.
But he was great as Kojak anyway, though.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good TV character. And we've got not too many hands here. Buffy be good. On the button. Are we going to see anything from Buffy? The door is open. We didn't see it. The Nuts says I'm not going to make up with 9-4. And John Boy Rebels delighted to have a walk. Get the chips, no risk. How sweet life is, he says. Paul X, 4 deuce, no. Buffy be good. This time we're going to have a bet from him. How much? Is it 1,500? We wait. Yes! James got it right. 1,500 it was. And the Nuts. Is it a call or a re-raise? You've got chips, mate. It's the re-raise, and I like it. 4,500. The figure which was in my mind. Now, Ace 10... can easily pass this. Ace Queen, you haven't got many chips left. Yes, he has to push the rest in. He's done so. King 2-5, he needs an ace or a queen. Oh, it's too late now, however, because there's the 9 on the turn. It was all over on the turn. The Nuts, trip 9s. And we lost a player. And this looks like we're in the final. Or not? Oh, still 2 tables. It's strange. I can't understand how we're 2 tables. Okay. Oh, right. We've had a... You give me a different number from the back room. We've got 15 players left. Okay, so that's fair enough. We've got 8 on another table and 7 on this one. That makes sense. 15 players. The Nuts, Queen 5. John Boy Rebel, Queen King in the cutoff. Makes it 1,500. Paul. It's going to cost him 1,000 to play. There's 2,250 in the middle. Decides to say no. John Boy goes up to over 11,000. A few hand gestures from Barry. I'm not quite sure what's going on. I don't want to look because I want to keep it all as a surprise. Paul there, small blind. Wow, aggressive play, but I'm a chip does not get moved. But look at this, it's a flush draw for Paul, and he continues with the betting, makes it 4,000, bet the pot size, and very difficult for I'm a chip. Yep, he had a middle pin straight draw, but well, very aggressive play from Paul. Did the raise from the small blind and followed it up when he had a flush draw. Took the chips. Very aggressive play. Got the money. And he's continued with his pair of 4s. No stopping him. Nuts passes. I'm a chip. Collects the blinds, no fight. Making jam. Collects again without any fighting. And they're going just a little bit conservative here now, perhaps thinking of getting to that final table. But there's I'm a chip, he's got a real hand, big slick, he raises and pass very quickly. As they're approaching, and there it is. I presume that's a final table. Okay, we're not quite sure. I think there might be a little bit of a slight mix-up of where we are on that one. So we're going to go to some cash and we'll come back to know exactly where we are on that tourney.
There's some left. There's some players left.
There's some play left.
We're not yet in the money.
Let's have a look at this cash to see what's going on. It's the 25.50 cent again. And we've come there to see Angel with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and collecting the money with a straight. There was a pair on board, but we didn't see how the betting went, but he obviously had not been frightened off the pot. $29.60. Pass all the way around to the small blind. I'm not a minger, just makes up the small blind. Oops, it's flush draw against flush draw. And I'm not a minger's got the 5 there. Just checks. And now has got a card which probably hasn't helped anyone, but he checked again and left the door open for numero to bet. Now what's happening? Checks again and numero checked. Well, it was some rather strange betting pattern there. It looked like that in the end either side could have done something to win it without a showdown. Hard to believe that I'm not a minger thought he was winning. In the end, by the way, he bet. Pair of 9s just limps in, Angel. Angel with his 9s there, he's got 2 pairs, makes it to 150. Trip 6 is for I'm not a minger, however. And Angel's bet the 4. I'm not minger, just called. Doesn't manage to get any more money. Joey makes a flat raise with the ace queen to $1. Snap it. I can't imagine Snap it calling that.
Ah, SOD's gone, I see. Is this the same 25-50 games watching earlier, Oz, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes, because Morrison's in his same seat.
Yeah, so is Paul. Oh, looks like might have got his money back there. Look, 167. When we left earlier, he had about $60 odd.
Yeah, that's right.
Wonder if he's cleaned SOD out. It's possible.
Waiting for Paul. I don't think he's going to call. No, he doesn't. Joey just takes that one down. You're back.
We're back. It was fun, rather cruel.
Oh, don't give the
But
storyline
like
away.
life, you know, poker is sometimes like that.
Uh-oh.
But hey, I'm smiling. It was good fun, and you know.
We'll be looking at it after the break anyway.
Yes, some very
We'll be
interesting
reviewing the
plays.
plays.
We will be. It was some very interesting plays. A couple of emails before we go to the break. We've got quite a few actually, so we'll get a few of them in before we go to the break. This is an email from Bodsberg. Hi guys, just a quick question regarding heads-up play. What are the merits of letting the opponent win a hand? In a situation, if we both have quite deep stacks, and I have been running over the opponent lately. For example, if I'm in position in a limp pot and I have 2-3.
Sorry, in position where?
If I'm in position in a limped pot and have 2-3 on a board of ace, ace, jack, 4-10, got check 2 on the river, and I'm 98% sure that I'll take the pot down with the minimum bet. What is the merit of just checking behind and letting him have the pot? I've done this before because I felt I won too many hands in a row and the opponent proved quite weak. And I thought if I let him win a pot, I could perhaps bluff him more easily in later pots. Is it worth one big blind for this? Regards from Bodsberg. It's a very good question actually, James. Me personally, get the roller out, roll them out as much as you possibly can. Push, 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 and eventually they'll snap, come over the top, and you've got a big hand, you clean them out and you wait for someone else to sit down. Or maybe you let them have a big blind occasionally.
I don't think I'm going to be letting someone have a bet if I think I can just win it.
See it as low-hanging fruit? If there's a nice pair to be picked?
Yeah, I'm just going to take it. I wouldn't worry too much about it. I think the thing is you're just going to keep on... It's good just to keep them beaten down there anyway. They're just going to be losing confidence all the time because you're running all over them. Don't suddenly let them think, oh, things have changed, I've won a pot all of a sudden. You might actually give them confidence.
See,
I'd keep them...
Yeah, absolutely. If you see
there.
the player is very weak, you know, not your problem.
Yeah.
Keep pushing, pushing,
Just keep
pushing,
pushing
until you break them or they leave.
And they might be a superstitious player. They might think, oh, goodness, I've lost so many hands in a row. And as I said, they might be elated by the fact that they suddenly won a hand. They might suddenly start to put in raises themselves or whatever. I'd keep them battered down.
So and it's a good spot in both cash games and tournaments. You keep pushing in a tournament whereby you raise someone's big blind, you raise someone's big blind. Now, they feel that they have to come over the top to get your attention. But if you do it right and you time it correctly, you'll put someone on their tournament life for all their chips when you've got a big hand.
Yeah.
And that's why you get aggressive players winning tournaments and being very good in cash games as well.
Yes.
Because they keep, you know, asking people decisions, making people, you know, make decisions about the hand they're absolutely holding. So I wouldn't give away a big blind now and again.
No.
I wouldn't.
Just keep that sort of scary characteristic that you've got there going.
Does Michael Schumacher take his foot off when he's, you know, when he's got a couple of second lead? I don't think so. No. Tiger Woods, does he, you know, lay up when he... No.
No. Just keep battering away there. I can see the principle of what you're saying, though, but... I wouldn't do it.
Okay, maybe it's a strange analogy to have Schumacher and Tiger Woods both, you know, pinnacles of their careers, but you know, why not?
Well,
you know?
I don't know.
Envision yourself as a champion player, and you know, I'm sure great things will happen to you.
One's a good.
My book will be coming out, Zen and the Art of Poker.
Yeah, one's a good driver, and the other uses a good driver.
Well, hey,
boom, boom.
Moving on to the next email. Alan, we got about 1 minute to go. We'll try and let's have a look. Kara's, another email from Kara, so I'm quickly going to get into this one. Hi Kara, thanks for another email. Shouldn't you be out partying or something, or doing stuff? I don't know. As you were wondering, all of the girls have won and cashed a few times. Excellent. Michelle has had a few first. This is my second win and my fourth cash, and Lindsay has done well too. So there you go.
Fantastic.
You know?
Well done,
Poker
girls.
Night Live is a great grounding for you know, a very solid poker game.
And just remember, these girls to start with had not played poker.
They hadn't.
So it's just great.
Kara has done a little bit of backgammon.
Yeah.
And the other girls, a bit of radio and stuff like that. Look, we've got lots of emails to get through. We want to see more, and even more after that. poker@pokernightlive.co.uk, and the text 84222 is the two ways to get through to us. We're going to take a small break, but first. We're going to go to speak to Mike Lacey again, and I believe we've got him on the phone right after this. And we're back with Mike Lacey still on the phone. Mike, thanks very much for joining us. Thanks for sticking around. We were talking a little bit earlier about the Showdown Poker Tour and the lack of runners, unfortunately. How did the rest of the Fitzwilliam week go? Was it a good turnout for their first festival?
Yeah, there was a lot of players in the other events. There was a 100 rebuy, which had 70-odd runners and created a nearly €20,000 prize pool. There was a €500 event on the Saturday. That only had 50 runners because there was another €500 event in Dublin, which had been fed with a lot of feeders throughout the year, which had 120 runners. So there was a bit of a clash on the schedule.
OK, well, that's not a bad turnout. The Fitzwilliam, you know, I love the card room. It's my favourite card room in Dublin. I don't know if you played there, James.
I haven't been there yet. I've been at the Miriam, but I haven't been at the Fitzwilliam
Me personally, how about you, Mike? But in Dublin, Fitzwilliam's my favourite place to play poker.
Yeah, it is. It's probably the best run card room. We discussed this before on the show, that it's definitely one of the better card rooms around. I know they have a bit of rivalry at the Gut Shop with the Gut Shop Fitzwilliam Challenge that's held every year.
Yeah, they'll be coming over again in October. We actually won the trophy back for the first time. It's the third match we play every 6 months. We went over to the Fitzwilliam. A number of the, myself and I think it was 60 Gut Shop players, took them on and we bought the cup back, which is good. And they're coming over in October. So looking forward to the return leg of the Gut Shop Fitzwilliam Challenge, which should be good fun.
I hope they'll get to play in that one. I was going to play in the last one, but something came up at the last minute, so...
That was a cracking field. They brought a few ringers in. Porrig, Donica and Andy Black all played for the Fitzwilliam. I don't know where these boys come out of the woodwork from, but they all played. But we knocked them all out early doors, so it was good stuff. That was good.
So, Mike, what's next on your poker calendar?
Well, on Thursday we have the start of the Irish Poker Championships Festival, which is being held at the City West.
Right.
The first event is a charity event that Padraig Parkinson has organised, and they're going for the record of a number of players in a live event. So it's looking like there's going to be nearly 450 runners for that one.
Wow. And what size is that tournament?
That's just a €300 buy-in event. Now, €100 of that goes to the charity.
Oh, excellent.
There's a lot of celebrities coming over. There's going to be the likes of Tony Cascarino, Ken Doherty, the Hendon Mob and everybody are coming over early for it. Most of the big UK players have committed to playing it. Padraig will be there, Donica, Andy Black.
OK, so it should be a great event then.
Yeah, and I think during the day before the tournament, they're going to be running poker classes. The better-known players are going to be giving lessons to the other players as well. So it'll be a good day of fun. How they're going to finish it in one night, I don't know, but...
They should get the Showdown boys to organise it for them. Have it over like 11 days, couldn't they, Mike?
But that leads off into, on the Friday, the €3,200 event, which has an expected prize pool of about €1 million. It should be a really, really good tournament, and the structure for that is excellent. It's a 3-day tournament with an hour clock, so...
Is that the Boyles sponsored one, Mike?
That is, yes. I wasn't sure whether I could mention the sponsor.
Yeah, we can mention that. And how many chips do they get in that tournament, do you know?
It's a 10,000 starting stack tournament, so there are no levels missed. A running ante comes in later on to keep things smooth, let the blinds creep up rather than jump up. So
that sounds good.
You going to play, Mike, in this?
I might have a few more chances to win a seat. I'll definitely be there reporting for antes up anyway. It's just a toss of a coin whether I actually stump up the money or not.
Well, you know, it'd be interesting to you mentioned Antes Up, and Gutshot does a number of live coverage events now around the globe, and we've been seeing you Antes Up boys around pretty much every event we go to these days. You know, and flying the flag for Irish poker, which it's a bit of a phenomenon, Mike, isn't it? If you think about, you know, Hold'em coming to Europe, and it was pretty much the Irish that actually brought Hold'em to Europe. And
Terry Rogers brought it over.
That's right, and you've very much been flying the flag ever since. What is it about Hold'em and poker and Ireland? What is the joining there?
Well, I think the Irish have always loved a punt. There's always been cards, but it's just huge now. Every single town you go to in Ireland, there could be 2 or 3 games on every night. I'm just on my way to a game that I run on a Monday night there, and we'll have 50 or 60 players. And that's in just a small town outside of Dublin. We go into Dublin with 4 or 5 well-known poker clubs that always have players in every night.
Mike, I'm sorry, we'll have to cut you off there again, mate. We're going to the commercial break. We'll be back very shortly with Poker Night Live, and we'll speak to Mike a little bit later on. Good evening. Good morning, is it yet? Let's have a look. Just. Good morning. How are you, James?
Yeah, good morning.
Good, good. Have you settled down now?
I feel fine.
Good. You got very excited there a little bit. And in fact, some more excitement on the way because Beat the Presenter is just around the corner.
That is going to be
and have
very
we got
exciting.
some poker for you?
Have I? All right, I'm looking forward to it.
Anyway, I'm Barry the Bully Martin, Mr. Browning alongside me for the next couple of hours, and I hope you enjoyed the first 2 hours of the show. It's been entertaining so far, James.
It has. There's been lots of exciting hands, some weird plays,
Yep.
some good topics, some good emails. We want to have lots more emails, though. Keep us busy. We like it. We love it.
There are a number of ways to get in contact with us here at the show. One of them is via the text. So get your fingers do the talking and all that stuff, and do the stuff that they're telling you on the screen just there. And you can also email. And there's also a web address, I believe, which is just there. Excellent. I'm sure you know. Look, you watched the show before. You know all the ways to get in contact with us. Now, I've not played the Beat the Presenter for a long time.
Okay.
I think I've done 7 shows that I've not played. The commentator's been doing it, so I've not done one. I insisted, James. I said, James, please let me play one tonight because the new structure, 2,000 chips, longer blind levels. So James quite kindly said, great, crack on.
Fire away.
And I did. I found the table, $20 sit and go. I sat down. It filled up very quickly. I'm great value, as per usual. And this is what happened in Beat the Presenter this evening.
Actually, he didn't sit down straight away because he had to go to the loo.
I was, yes. You played my first hand.
So actually, it was James who played the first couple of hands. But we didn't tell them until later. So Barry the Bully would have probably... Would you pass King 6?
Absolutely
Just
not.
as well. Oh, here's a hand, Barry. Now, you might like the way it happens here. Watch, see what happens. Barry's watching. What happened to my money?
Okay. I can see... I can look into the crystal ball and I can see that a king's going to appear.
Well, you don't know if I'm going to call yet.
You're going to call for this value.
Oh, look.
Hello.
Flop 9-3 king. I decided to play it a bit differently for you.
You're going to play it... You put my head on and said, right, I'm going to play it like I would. I'm going to check
So I
raise
checked
it.
it.
Spit's going to take a pot at it.
Snap it has a pair, but he doesn't do anything. Pair of 6s.
Have a little bet.
Go on. No, he doesn't. Making
Really?
jam. Bet's 80. So now...
240, 300, something like that.
Oops, the tension. 240.
There you go. It's a nice little 3 times the... It's a nice bet because you've not really committed yourself. Someone comes back over the top again, you can now let the king 8 go.
Yeah.
But you've asked the question.
I've asked a big enough
And
question.
it's easy making jam going, yes, OK, nothing, I'm letting it go.
And we've actually managed to win some chips there with the hand. Also, if I just bet out with 3 people behind me, they can actually make a move on me.
Absolutely.
So now I've taken that away from them.
The check raise is always the more powerful play.
So you were happy enough with that then?
Very happy. In
Okay.
fact, ecstatic.
King Queen just calls, and actually I've just called here for you. You were just coming in here now, I think, back to the table. We were still in our break. And
No, I was happy with the king-queen call on the button there.
yeah, just to see what happens.
Early doors, there's no point in getting too busy.
And there we go.
Look, I'm losing. What a quality flop for him. Top pair.
And the flush draw.
The nut
Beautiful
flush draw.
hand. And then we've lost nothing in the pot.
No.
So that's quite nice. And now it's on to Barry there now. Barry's in the seat.
The 10-8. It's a big hand.
Making jam. Pot and pan makes it 80 there, 4 times the big blind. Barry the Bully decides to pass.
And why not? Pocket nines. We see a lot of pairs of 9s in this particular game. It was a strange one. You have some nights like this, or some particular games, whereby you see hands occur and reoccur, and well, I'm not going to spoil it for the viewers who didn't see this, but it was a hand that came up a few times this evening and played a couple of pivotal parts. But I'm not going to divulge any more. I wouldn't want to spoil it for the viewer. Look, I'm losing, pops it up here. And for me, playing the first time I actually played this this slower, structured one table, it was definitely more play. You know, usually you get about half an hour into this, and the blinds are 640, 1200, and the chips are all flying in, and any 2 cards and stuff. But no, this had a much more sedate air about the situation, and I thought it may not have suited my game, being that I'm a bit of a crash, bang, wallop merchant, as people have called me, which is very unfair. I've got a very cultured game. With a hand like 4-5, I'm going to be passing, obviously, in this particular situation. With all this play, there's no point in me playing 4-5. Is there?
Is there?
I can't remember. No, of course not. I must have been chatting away on the text while then. But you know...
I think that made you more selective chatting
well,
on the text.
No, I say that, yes. I say that, but, you know, the nice thing about it is that...
Oh, let's watch this. 140, re-raise from the ace-king. Is Vince Roy going to be stubborn?
He shouldn't be, should he?
He shouldn't be, no. Oh, he was stubborn. The only thing is he's got position. Now, what is Cat going to do? There's 560 in the middle. He checks.
I think he has to check there, James. We were telling... Kara not to play these kind of situations.
Now he doesn't have to check, does he? He's got a classic semi-bluff situation.
Now we can bet this. I'm going to be betting something like 500. I think he asked the question 500. See, what are you going to do? Check call? If you're planning like this? I wouldn't play it like this.
Check call is bad shape. You're 4-1 against it, you're flush. It's
no,
horrible.
I'm saying, was he looking to check call now? I'm not. Now I might even push here. Because if it's got anything to do with the flop, if it's got a queen or an overpair, you have to bet this flop.
I don't think the guy's got a queen. I think we've heard from him straight away.
He might have ace-9, 9-10, this kind of hand where he thinks he's 9 in front.
Hard to put him on that. He's called a re-raise as well. I mean, it's hard to put him on the hand he's got, really. That's the thing. But...
See, this is the dilemma of being out of position and not taking the high ground, taking the aggressive stance in this pot. Tough to call.
Yeah. Well, personally, if I'd been Cat, because I'd put in a re-raise pre-flop, I actually... There's a good chance I'd have actually bet the flop, actually, just because I'd put a re-raise in.
And you're out of position.
Yeah, first to speak. So I would actually bet the flop because I've done the re-raise. I can well have a big pair in my hand now. It's a re-raise I've done.
Absolutely.
You don't have to think I've got ace-king. You say, well, you could well have a big pair. So I would have actually put in the one there. And then I'd have followed it up again if the guy calls on the turn, because now I've got a real semi-bluff anyway. The first one would be more or less a bluff, and the next one would be semi-bluff. And I would have played it powerfully because I'd done a re-raise pre-flop. Anyway, he's in good shape here. He's got top pair. And he's put in the re-raise with that. And of course, making jam's going to pass. He has no real connection with the flop apart from a straight draw. Anyway, Barry, we just took you off your track.
Yeah, no. I was about to say, I thought it wouldn't suit my game that I play quite a high-tempo, aggressive game in these sit-and-goes, especially my Beat the Presenter. And it's a style that's worked for me over the time. But because people are playing it a little bit slower, and because the blinds are, the blinds are a little more relaxed, it actually suits me because I can force the issue a little bit more, because people are taking a little bit more of a back seat and saying, I'm not going to get too involved, I can see a few flops, etc., etc.
So it makes more of a contrast with your play?
It does. It does, definitely.
Well, he's decided with bottom pair, Barry, to
well, I'm only worried about
ask the question.
I'm only worried about spit here. It's a kind of a straightening board. I think if Pot and Pan has got anything to do with it, he's going to bet out.
Now he's called. What do you feel now?
Now I put him on 2 overs.
You put him on 2 overs?
Yeah, I do
and
put him on 2 overs.
Pan?
Well, I don't know what Pot and Pan's got. I'm worried about what he's doing in this
As it
pot.
happens, Pot and Pan's got an up and down straight, and Spit now has walked into a flush draw.
Now I think to myself, okay, I could easily have a 8 here and then checked it. So I'm going to try. I'm going to try and nick this now on the river. Unfortunately, I didn't realise that that someone had backdoored the flush with runner.
And you bet 160 into a pot of 310.
Yeah. I tried. It was a difficult one for you know. Spit couldn't really come over the top because they only had the flush when it was a paired board.
Yeah,
that was a grimacing face. If only we was back in shot.
I don't think it's going to be your favourite play of the night for me.
Well, hold on. I've made a pop at it on the flop.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
mind that. I don't mind that.
I've checked it on the turn because I really don't know where I am now. But now the 8's come, I think to myself, I could easily have an 8 in this hand, and you couldn't put anyone on the spade draw. You couldn't, could you? It's come run a spade.
I know it's difficult. Yes, and I think that's the only thing is there. I think that has been the overriding thought in your mind. You also had another guy there as well. You don't know why he was there.
No.
You're against 2 opponents. Okay. I maybe would have preferred to see the same money used on the turn rather than on the river.
Yeah, the turn gets the same effect, doesn't it?
It doesn't matter, does it? You don't know what they've got.
No. But now...
Forget about what they've got. You don't know what they've got. I'm just saying, you bet and no one came over the top of you on the flop anyway.
No.
I don't know, I think I'd have shut down on that.
I was in front.
Altogether.
That was the strange thing about it. My bet on the flop, I actually was in front.
Yeah. I think I'd have shut down altogether. I don't think I'd have actually thought that there was a window for...
Yeah, unfortunately I didn't
Yeah.
want to be leaving the window open. But look, it cost me 160 chips.
Cost you 168, so it doesn't matter. You're still there, well in the tournament.
I was getting decent return on my 160 investment, I thought. I didn't because I didn't win the pot, which was always interesting. Look at that, what a rock. Look, ace-9 on the button. Binned it like it was nothing.
2 pairs for Vince Boy, 3s and 4s.
Good flop. It's got to be betting this, don't you think? Yeah.
Yeah, well, especially after check.
Yeah.
Spit just calls, and 5-6 now calls. And that's a good... We were saying we're going to mention suited connectors. Early
Yes, good
stages,
spot.
10-20. I think that's fine calling with 5-6 there. He's had the flat call. He just doesn't want to see a raise, however.
No, and Snap It's seen a couple of
when he
limpers.
sees the raise from Snap It.
And on the button as well.
But it should be easy for him, so he's got rid of it, and that's fine, because Snap It's very solid, and you don't want to be messing around there.
These boys are in trouble here.
Barry.
Got the powerhouse, the suited powerhouse in the 5 deuce.
Wow! And there we have it. 5 times a big blind with 2 5s suited. And it's been called by Ace Jack.
Oops. Oops-a-daisy.
Well, are we going to see the continuation bet? There's 440 in the middle. He's bet a proper size bet, 400. But oh goodness, well, it must all be over now because he's been called.
Ye have very little faith, Mr. Browning.
Well, it's looking bleak
You
from
have
here.
no faith at all.
It's looking bleak from here. But he's seen another check from Vince Boy, and does that tempt Barry?
It's like a dangling carrot.
520. Well,
I put him on a flush draw. I was wrong, but I knew he had some draw. I didn't put him on a hand.
so you had the big cards and a middle pin straight. Well, Barry, persistence there, and you got the money.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yep, it was few. Because I showed it as well. And poor old Sphinx boy went slightly, a bit of a mini tilt for the next couple of hands.
I might have to put "Don't try this at home" after that one, I think.
Yeah, you know...
The blinds are small and you... Whoops, okay.
Well, he's not come over the top pre-flop.
No, he hasn't.
You know, and I put him on that kind of hand, and it's come down, you know... The only card I've got to be worried about is the king now. He's checked, I bet he's called. Now I'm thinking, flush draw. Turn brings a blank, but a straightening card, he now checks again. I cannot let this go.
Right. You had position.
I did have position. And you know what? There was no way I could let it go to showdown with 5 deuce, really, could I?
No, you're not going to win it on merit.
I'm not going to win it purely by the strength of my hand. But to be fair, I did show it. I was, you know...
Well, what do you do with 2 5s if you like that with 5-2?
Simple, limp.
Limped with a pair of 5s. And
Lucky I did, with Sphinx boy behind me with the kings.
Yep, King Kong waiting in the jungle.
I actually texted it and I actually put in the chat box, I said if you'd have made it a bit smaller, I'd have probably come in for the ride. If it makes it like 160 or something, I might see a flop. Pocket 5s.
I think it's probably a good job you didn't. I mean, I don't know if you've got a big enough... The problem is, I don't know if you can afford... You haven't got enough chips really to be trying to click 7.5 to 1 shots, have you?
No. But if he makes it cheap enough for me to come in after a couple of limp, if he makes it 160 with 120 to call, yeah, I'm now getting odds on the... I'm getting value for money. No. I'm thinking of, you know, you look at the odds... I know I've got to hit a 5.
Yeah.
I know that.
So you're 7.5 to 1 to hit a 5, and you've only got 2,440 is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and Sphinx boy's got very similar chips to me.
You've only got 15 160s.
Yeah, but look how many chips he's got.
I know. The good thing is there you've got enough chips that you'll get paid if you hit it.
Correct.
It's quite a chunk of your chips still. That's all I'm saying.
What, 5% of my chips to try and double up, which I would get doubled up. My image against him, it's...
Oh, if you connect, but he's got to still have a hand as well.
I'll put him on a hand.
Yeah, but you can't know that 100%.
No.
He could have ace-king just the same.
He could have ace-king.
And then the flop doesn't hit the ace-king, so you don't make it every time you hit the 5 as
yeah,
well.
But
and that's what we must get people thinking that. We can't have them...
Absolutely, no.
I'm against people saying, I know what you've got, because you don't. You don't know exactly what people have got. We can't know that.
When I said a big hand,
yes.
I didn't know he'd overpair, but I thought we had a big hand.
Yes.
But I said to him in the text, if it had made it a little bit smaller, I'd have called, and I knew I needed to hit a 5 to have any chance of winning this.
Yeah. I was just thinking, maybe if you made... All I'm thinking is, if you made it 80, I see that would be lovely, because you'd have 30 lots of 80 in your stack.
Yeah.
But you've only got 15 lots of 160, which isn't so many. That's all I'm saying. It's just, i.e., the more play you've got, the more adventurous one can be, I believe. The more chips you've got, the more adventurous you can be. That's just the point I'm trying to put across. But, listen...
Could that Sphinx boy nicking my blind out of that position.
Wow.
And I lay the ace-10 down like it was rubbish.
Vince boy, watch out in the future.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is going to be put in his diary, I can tell you. Vince boy, pinch my blind. What's going on? You can't pinch the bully's blind.
It wasn't exactly he wasn't exactly in great position to be stealing my blind, was he? I had thought about the situation that with the 5 deuce, and especially after I showed it, I knew there'd be some retribution somewhere along the line.
Actually, that's interesting you said that, and that's good thinking to say, well, I wonder what this action's going to do. Maybe this does leave the door open for you, actually, to be looking for someone trying to do something to you. And
Absolutely.
come over the top. Come over the top of them, maybe.
I use my table image to my advantage. I want
Yeah.
people to think I'm, you know, a complete lunatic, which is great because sometimes I can change gear, play a very solid game, and get paid in some parts.
Ken here. Oh, he doesn't get pushed off that. He only had the jack, but he collected. Well, Barry's got a pair of 8s. Snowmen. We're waiting. What happened? Oh, and it's 200. He's looking to...
Don't want to see a flop, really.
Or be heads up, where you're probably against maybe two overcards or whatever. And it's going to cost 160 here, and there's 300 in the middle. He's just getting short of 2 to 1, but he doesn't want to know. And Barry takes down a very useful 100. Back to 224.60. You're lying in second place. Oh, third place. And it's going along quite nicely.
Yeah, not. Besides that 5 deuce, I've not got two
I mean,
out of line.
that was a bit scary there. I think there was.
Yeah, I didn't like the situation, I must say. And maybe it's a good thing that I don't play a lot of these Beat the Presenters, because I'm sure I'd get looked up a little bit more often than I do.
Well, you'd be switching his style, wouldn't you? So,
of course I would.
So look, I'm losing there. He was putting a chirpy raise in there with Jack 7. And what we're going to see from him this time. Yes, it's another one. Sensed it coming. 120, 3 times the big blind. Classic raise. Spit.
With the powerhouse, it's a remarkable laydown.
We could have poker from another planet. We could have Barry with his 5-2 and Mark with his 7-8 offsuit.
Hey, look.
Top of their hand rankings.
We know when we're behind. It's not really top of my hand rankings. I've got some favourite hands. It's just it's a gut shot hand, you see.
Yes, I know that.
So the powerhouse is legendary.
I think
Clerkenwell Road.
I was in Vienna, and in fact Simon was.
Oh, Hennessy, yes.
Yes, he was busy telling me the virtues of 5-2.
There's not a lot to them, really, most of the time. Or 5-3. 5-3 suited, indeed.
Well, there's another one as well.
That's the Jim Jam.
The Jim Jam?
Yeah.
Can you explain this?
There's a player at our club called Jim Jam.
And he likes 5-3 suited?
5-3 suited is his hand.
Oh, right.
And he won a seat to the World Series with it.
With the Jim Jam?
With the Jim Jam. He was only up against aces.
Oh. And?
The guy flopped an ace and he made a straight, and he put it down to Jam. Nothing wrong with that.
How did he do in the World Series?
Went out the first day. With aces, would you
Oh,
believe? He did, he had aces against ace jack.
That's horrible, isn't it?
Yeah, the flop comes jack high, and this very aggressive player at his table's checked. Jim Jam's bet with the aces, the guys re-raised, all gone in. 23,000 chip pot, river to jack. After 3 hours of play, he was fuming.
Problem is, he doesn't know how to play with aces, probably, Jim Jam. He's so used to playing with funny cards.
He'd raised with them. He'd raised and the big blind's called. And he thinks he's like hit the absolute monster with the jack-eye flop. There you go. Takes all sorts.
It does, it does. Up and down straight for look, I'm losing. 10 jack, queen, king. Barry, queen 4.
I was in the big blind. There for nothing.
And
don't want to know. Let it go.
Let's it go. So 7 players here, and Pot and Pan has a...
Quite a sedate pace, really, wasn't it?
Pair of 10s. Yes, it's sort of gone quite calm, hasn't it? Well, as soon as we say that, we've got a 240 whacked in the middle, but it's 3 times the big blind, so it's not outrageous.
Yeah, I thought to myself, is he a little button stealer here? Or what's going on here? I thought to myself.
Feels like a laydown. Yes, you did lay it down.
Yeah.
Well, I'd be very sure Ken's going to put that down. That's
yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you?
King. Oh. Schmidt passes. Making jam. No. Barry on the button. Can he resist?
Can't remember if I did or not, actually. I was quite trying to squint my eyes to see if it actually make it look like ace-king. If you try really hard, you actually can.
Yeah, oh, yeah, I've done it, yeah. Ace of hearts, king, yeah.
I think I said it. In fact, that's what I think they got me on mini tilt when they're having a pop at my hair on the text box. They were saying I look like a football hooligan with my new haircut, which was outrageous. It's cost me £8 this haircut, and I wouldn't have known anyone said anything against it.
It's good value.
It's excellent value.
Pot and pan, King Kong, 240. Barry showing great discipline.
8 queen. Yes, well, you know, discipline's my middle name. No, it's not my middle name. But it's a lot more sedate, isn't it? You know, this with a few more chips in play, the blind's going up a little bit.
More chips and a couple of extra hands per round.
Yeah.
And that gives you
Makes a difference.
bit more play, yeah. I think it's a better structure.
Mm-hmm. Oops.
Ooh.
Wow, 4 big hands, really. You got ace-10 suited.
Oh dear,
arm with
Barry's
the
got the
nines.
nines, but behind him is Ken with the jacks.
Yes.
And ace-king, and there's an ace-10. This is going to be some action here. Now, 240's been raised to 400. You can't like the raise from Snap It.
I don't, because I know he's a very, very solid player.
And now we're going to see what Look I'm Losing does.
Look I'm Losing, I didn't realise. I know he was having a dwell up. I didn't realise he had this big a hand. Wow.
Yep.
That's a rocky fold from Look I'm Losing, isn't it?
Well, because it's Ken's raise which has done it.
Oh dear.
What a dream.
You don't like to see it, do you? But there you go. See, I thought I'd put a bit of a strange bet, because I thought the way to get on here is to bet it.
Well, actually, I think you can probably think that Snap It's got an overpair, to tell the truth.
And that's what, when he minimum raised me, I thought, right, that's it. I'm going in. I think I can get all his chips. But
and he might actually think you're on a flush draw here, possibly.
Yeah, or even 2 overs or something like that.
But he doesn't, and it's it's turned out to be a great pass by Ken.
I'd have found it very difficult to lay the jacks down there.
Yeah.
You got a gut shot. You got the over pair. It's a tough one. It's a great lay down.
And to lay it down against you as well, Barry.
Exactly.
That makes it tough.
It does make it very tough.
This is a guy who's played 5-2 before. Now you have to lay a hand down to him with jacks. This is hard to do.
Yep. And that's the nice thing about having to mix up your play.
Yeah.
You know.
Ken here, I think, because he's gone down in chips, I think he should have raised you here, pre-flop.
Maybe he's trying to trap.
No, his chip situation. That's what I'm saying. I don't think he should have done this.
It'd have got me calling on the pre-flop.
Yes,
I would have called him pre-flop with ace queen.
He should have re-raised you pre-flop, looking like it's the hand after, and just say, right, come on, re-raise.
Now he saved me, because now I can lay the ace queen down.
I don't think this is the way. I don't think he's played this so well.
No.
I think he definitely should have re-raised you pre-flop. He's already gone down in chips. He needs to do something anyway.
Although this is the safer way to play it. But for him to stay in the tournament, he's only given me opportunity to hit 3 cards on the flop, 3 overs. If he'd have committed it all in, then I see all 5.
3 overs. He's got a pair of 10s.
No. What I'm saying is there are 3 now chances to hit over cards on the flop.
No, he's got a pair of 10s. Ace, king, queen, jack.
No. Listen. Okay.
4 overs.
No. What I'm saying is I've only got 2 overs to hit.
Right.
Yeah. He's only given me 3 opportunities to hit them 2 over cards.
Right.
Now, if we
but there's 4 cards he's not going to like the look of.
I understand that, but he has to make a decision, or because he's got position over me, he can now take that as a situation that he can read from.
I don't like it at all. I think he hasn't got enough chips. You've put in a better raise again. You're quite capable of putting lots of raises in. He's got a pair of 10s. He hasn't got so many chips. He should have asked you the question there and then and just raised you there and then pre-flop.
But then I get a chance to see all 5 cards. It's a chance to hit my 6 card out.
But what does he do? You've got the chance now to even represent if a king comes on there, or represent if whatever you haven't got up there. So you've got 2 cards you can hit and 2 cards you can represent with, maybe.
Yep. I don't mind the way he's played it, actually. I don't mind that, because it's a safe way. It's not as though he's...
When you've got less chips, you can't afford to be safe anymore. That's my point.
Wasn't that short?
He was down to 1,300.
It's not a terrible amount.
Well, you started with 2,000. It's not great.
No, but this...
So what I'm saying is you adjust your play according to your chip
Still
situation.
loads of play. I've only made it
with a pair of 10s often, I can play it very slowly. I can just flat call with a pair of 10s at times.
Yep.
But against you, putting a raise in against ahead of me there, with my pair of 10s, I'm just going to go there and then. And you don't want to see overcards with the 10s. So if I can get you to pass, even is great.
OK, you're running the risk now of me not having a hand. That's the problem.
And what's wrong with that?
No, not a problem.
Because he didn't win any more money anyway.
No. But he could have gone out equally by moving
No,
all in.
you can't say both
call.
things. He could have won the money without risking losing the hand at all.
True.
He didn't win any extra money. He gave you a free shot to hit your 2 overcards. You didn't hit them, and then he bet, and then you passed. He didn't get a shilling extra out the pot. If he puts in a big re-raise against you...
I'm going to call with ace queen.
Well, then you're in horrible shape, and he's got a chance to double...
How am I in horrible shape? We're at about 52, 48.
Because you missed the flop.
Yeah, but he didn't know that if he pushed all in.
No, of course he doesn't. But
No.
I'm saying the whole package is one. The 10
I think you're being overly critical to Ken. I don't think he played the 10s badly.
Okay, I'm just saying what I believe is the correct play, and I've got
That's
to speak.
fine.
I've got to say, and I think there in that situation with the amount of chips he's got there, a raise from Barry the Bully, which doesn't have to be.
It could be filth.
It could be filth.
Yeah.
And that is part of the window of hands that I put you on.
Okay.
Because of that, this raises the level of my pair of 10s, and because I'm lower in chips than normal. Now I ask you the question.
I
there
understand
and then.
that. But
And that's why I think that's the correct play.
But he's not played it badly. I don't think... In the situation, I'm in an early position, OK? It's not as though I'm in late position trying to steal the blinds. Yes, I've been overly aggressive in a couple of these pots. I agree. But, I think I need to have a hand there for him to call.
The problem is when he just puts in the money there... the 10s hates 4 cards. It's not very good for him to have to make a decision against you, who's very capable of representing hands as well.
Yeah.
Because you're difficult to play against, that's why I'm still stressing that, in fact, he should have just asked you the question pre-flop.
Don't disagree, and I think both ways of playing it is...
Well, I think one's better than the other, and I think that the way I'm suggesting is better than the other.
But if he moves in I call and I hit my ace on the river, what would have been the best way to play it? The 10s flat calling.
If you hit the ace in the river, clearly he'd have had much the better of the whole situation.
Who, him?
Obviously.
Well, no, he'd been out, wouldn't he?
But that's irrelevant. If he'd got to the stage where you have to hit it in the river, how sweet it is for him. He's a massive favourite then.
I'm sure Kim would have said it was that sweet, getting knocked out on the river.
No, it's not results. You can't be results merchants in this game. He'd have been over 6-1 with one card to come.
Absolutely.
So that's a favourable situation to be in this game. But I'm protecting him losing the hand even.
Yeah.
So... pot and pan here on the button.
If he had more chips, you're going to play the 10s like that? If he's got the same chips as me?
If he's got more chips, he can play it the way he played it.
Right. OK. It's funny, I made a move here and I made it for a reason. I didn't realise that...
Wow, we've seen a big play from Barry here. Jack Queen.
I didn't put him on a hand. He'd raised 3 or 4 times in the latest position. I didn't know before he had kings and he had 10s.
Right.
And
you thought this is 1-2 bets.
One too many.
Too many, yeah.
I may have been wrong. I got it right though. Ace-9 is a hand he can't call me with, even though he was in front.
Yeah.
And
well, good aggressive play. The thing is, you've got chips there, and you used your chips. So
yeah.
I think I'm not going to complain about that at all. And it was a type of move from him anyway, because Ace-9 isn't the crown jewels, and it can't call the re-raise, as you just said.
Cannot. That's
so therefore, you sensed he didn't have a great hand. So.
Yeah. Well, as much as you can sense online, but he's raised 2 or 3 times in late position.
And that was.
And I thought to myself, well,
it was a type of steal he was doing anyway. So. Yeah. And you wouldn't have been such a big dog against him anyway.
No, if he comes back over the top all in, I can pass now. Although it'd been difficult.
You probably can't, I think.
No, with his chips, yeah.
Pot committed, I think. But I mean, just about pot committed.
I'd left myself. Well, I put myself in a decision.
No, you're not bad shape. You're probably about 45% to win that anyway. So against Ace-9.
I would put it this way: I wouldn't have liked to called.
No, you wouldn't have enjoyed it.
I wouldn't have enjoyed it at all.
You were happy to see him pass to your re-raise.
Absolutely, and that was the whole idea behind the play.
Of course. But again, that play of yours is why I'm saying
The
how...
tens could have played. No, I understand that.
Exactly.
But Ken's a different player to me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, he knows that as well.
Yeah, good.
But he's got to recognise who he's playing against. And that's what I'm
Absolutely.
trying to tell people is you've got to recognise who you're playing against and use that. And this has got to be used in your judgment of what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Barry here, really exerting pressure here.
Well, people are playing a very passive game, and I decided to turn it up a little bit.
You've got way above average chips. You can take this. You can pressurise people. I like it. I think it's good.
Well, I thought to myself, I've got to fancy myself making the money now, so I'm going to start pushing it.
Well, look at this. Look how I'm losing. He's pushing with Queen 4. Seems to be hand of the night. We've seen it earlier. Mr. KJ or... And making jam. Oh, D's on the button. Now, is Barry going to be suspicious of this raise?
No, he's been very quiet on the button, you see, making jam, and I thought to myself, yeah, 9-4 is not a hand I want to be coming back over the top with. It would be far too embarrassing.
Making jam, pair of threes. Limps in with a pair of threes. Don't know if he's got enough chips to be able to afford to do that, to tell the truth. I don't think he has. I think that's actually a poor play, but let's see if he decides to play it aggressively. He does. Okay, well, he's made up for it.
Well, he's taking it, saying, think, right, well, you boys haven't got an ace, you'd have bet this.
Yeah.
So I'm
and he
pushing.
realises he doesn't want to see another card because it's likely to be helping you more than it's going to help him.
Well, every card's a danger card with pocket
it's
threes.
more likely to be helping the pair of you rather than help him.
That's why I'm
sure.
surprised he didn't move in pre-flop.
Yeah, I don't like just... I think it's dangerous just limping there, and it's possible that you guys could have bet out, of course, his hopeless case there. I don't think it was a great hand to call with there. And I don't think he had enough chips to limp in, to tell the truth. But full marks at the end, he's actually found a way to win he had the courage to win the chips.
Yeah.
But he had to now put himself in that situation where he didn't have to be there at all, I think. But that would be my only point.
Little blind steal here again with my 7-9.
Yep, very nice.
Just keeping the equilibrium.
Barry's got chips and he's using them. So no complaints there. Good play. Good aggressive play. Well, this is not the gut shot.
No, it's the Jim Jam.
I thought it had to be suited, the Jim Jam.
Well, yeah, he's not fussy.
Oh, okay, now you tell me.
A man who plays 3-5.
5-3.
Well, 3-5 suited is the Jim Jam, but, you know, 3-5 unsuited is...
If I'm going to learn the names of hands, I've got to know exactly what they are, though.
Okay.
So that's a half Jim Jam, though. That might just be a Jim.
Just the Jim.
Or just the jam,
Just
maybe.
a bit of jam, yeah. Although...
Whoops, making
jam.
jam.
Yeah, can he pass for the extra 1,000?
Oh, just
or
imagine
was
if
it 1,400.
If making jam started to play for the Jim Jam, it could get so confusing.
Yeah. He's jamming with the Jim Jam.
Oh, look at this. He's getting
Pocket
jammed in the
nines
right
again.
way. He's got... Oh, no, Barry, what happens here? I don't like
Well,
the look
what
of
can
this.
I do? I'm under the gun with nines.
No, I'm just
I played
saying.
very aggressive.
Yeah.
I've got to raise it, and I thought to myself, well, you know, I'll put a little raise in here and, you know, take the blinds down.
640. Okay, well,
This
now
was
with your chips, I don't mind this raise because the blinds are so big now anyway.
Yeah.
If you get away with
In
it...
fact, I made a mistake. I actually didn't realise the blinds had gone up the hand before. This was the hand the blinds... In fact, it saved me some chips because if I make it 900...
2380 here. Now
I might
Barry's
have to call.
looking here and... frustrated, I think, that he's got a proper hand, and it looks like he's going to put it down. And it's... oh, he's... Yep, and it's a good pass from Barry there.
I had to. I just had to get rid of it.
No, you had to. It was a great pass. Well done.
Jam had been very, very solid, and I had to do. I just had to lay that down.
Well, you'd raised it under the gun, so you'd shown some strength
Exactly. It
anyway.
wasn't I was on the button and looked like I was making a steal. I'd have
raised
called
under
that.
the gun, so you showed some strength, and you must have been celebrating this, winning the blinds there for nothing there straight after.
Absolutely.
That soothed you a bit, I would imagine.
Yep.
Now, what do you do here? Because I think pot and pan... No, he won't go. So now, do we see anything from Barry here? No, just make such a small
I'd
blind.
raised so many times on Snap It's big blind, I thought, I can't keep doing it.
And Snap It, good play. Well
Can't
done,
keep
Snap
doing
It. Well done.
It's funny, after them nines, for about 3 or 4 hands, the old wind come out of the sails. I felt a little bit, you know, OK, just take stock.
Spit here.
Wow,
Wind have gone
look
into
at
his
this.
sails. American Airlines.
Looks having a think, but he hasn't got enough in the big blind to have to call this. He really doesn't. No.
So we've got 6 players. Spit's got a pair on the big blind, pair of 6s, and wins it no contest. We're looking down at Barry. He's got 8 jack. I don't think he'll like that too much. He doesn't.
No, no. As I say, I just kind of regrouping after a couple of misfires in the old in the bully engine.
Making Jam got a gut shot. The 3, of course. Now the board's paired. Now, will we see a bet from Making Jam here? No, we don't. That last card, well, Spit was on the blind. It could mean anything. And Making Jam, in the end there, quite correctly, just checks at the end. He doesn't have to try anything at the end there. But I think he could have tried a bet on the turn. Barry, Q7 suited.
Yeah, the computer hand suited.
He's contemplating.
Yeah, no.
Decided not. And I think wisely. Didn't need to do that. He's still got 3,400 chips. He's not as rich as he was, so he has to just pick his spots just a little bit more carefully than before.
Nice straight on the river there for pot and pan.
Yep.
Gets him back in the game.
An ace for Barry. Snap It passes. Look, I'm losing. Ooh, he passes. Spit will be passing.
Another nice thing about seen as being a bit of a lunatic, people don't want to take you on in
No,
the big blind.
he might call anything, this guy.
Yeah.
So you get the blinds again. And when you're getting 480 for nothing, wow. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pot and pan, no thanks. Barry,
Oh dear.
are you going to get tempted?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I thought, let's put the pressure on. I didn't, you know, I thought Ken might have called this with ace 8. I thought it would have been a very quick call, but I was wrong. And I showed him as well.
Oh.
Poor old Ken.
What was his comment?
Oh, the Doyle Brunson. And that was basically it.
Making Jam. Pot and pan. Ah, might save Barry getting into trouble with King Queen.
Well, I
He
wasn't
does.
getting in
Good
trouble,
pass.
was I? Because, yeah, I know. King Queen's not a hand I want to be taking, because even an ace rag I'm behind. I didn't want to be doing that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be calling. I want to be raising here, James.
Yep. Better rather than a caller, and put that King Queen down quite easily, which was good. I thought you might be tempted there. 2 cards above a 10, or 10 or above, and suited. Doesn't look too bad, short-handed.
But Jam's got the hand in the big blind.
He has. And he just calls.
Good flop for him.
It is a good flop for him.
Although I could easily have an ace, but he's played quite well, actually.
Well, he certainly bet it. That's good. And you can't call this. You've either got to come over the top or pass.
Yeah.
Okay, I think this will be the last hand.
Before we go to the last leg of our phone-in this evening. I think we've got Mick Lacey on the line.
And there we go, Making Jam goes to chip leader. So we'll keep that for you.
Six-handed, all very tense. You enjoyed it so far?
I'm enjoying it. It's great. Yeah, it's brought up a couple of interesting topics. We've seen some really interesting hands. I'm enjoying it. It's a fast-flowing, exciting sit and go.
Good. Okay.
And a great pass by you from the nines. I was well impressed by that.
Well,
and I'm also well impressed by your use of the chips so far. Very good. The 2-5, well, you land on your own there. I'm not going to attempt to commentate on that one.
What can you do?
Early stages, but
leopard
still,
spots.
Yeah, that's fine. But good, I enjoyed it.
So, marks from the headmaster?
Oh, I think
out of 10?
Yeah, I'm not going to give you marks to the end of the sit and go, but at the moment you're doing well.
Okay, thank you.
Well
very
above
much.
average.
Okay.
Marks.
Okay, how long have we got before? 4 minutes. Okay. We've got a couple of emails to get through, James, before we go before we go off to speak to Mick Lacey. We've got an email here from Ramchip.
Okay.
Okay. He says, "Hi guys, what are your thoughts on moving up levels in cash games? When I started playing poker 3 years ago, I started at the micro levels. Very good idea. And each time I doubled my bankroll, I moved up a level. At each level, my game improved. Do you think to develop a high standard of play, you need to move up the levels and mix it with better players, or do you think this can be done simply by playing at the lower levels?" It's a very good point, actually, James. Do you think you can? Is there only so much you can learn at the micro levels?
I believe that generally, as perhaps you might expect if you think about it, as you move up the levels, not always, and you'll find individual tables where there'll be a big difference, but generally the standard of play will get higher as you move up. I can see the difference between like a 2-4 no limit and a 3-6. It sort of stands out. I can see the difference in the standard of plays. The plays tend to become more sophisticated. Now listen, I can also show you some tables in a 25-50 where the people are absolutely potty. So you will get exceptions to the rule. But generally, I think as you do move up the levels, as you maybe would expect, the standard does get higher. So just the main thing is you've got to play according to the size of your bankroll. Otherwise, you can get some horrible fluctuations and you'll get wiped out. We don't want that. If you're a good player, we want you to be able to win. So therefore, I would say keep on trying to climb up the poker ladder because you will come against some tougher opponents. But make sure you only make the climb when you've got the money to do it.
Very good, James. I will say, actually, Ramchip, that not a bad idea that you actually go and watch these games that you're thinking about going to play in. You know, trying to assess the players, trying to work out to see if they're actually, you know, playing different cards in different positions, are they being a bit trickier, or is it purely and simply a maths situation whereby they've just got more money in their bankroll?
Actually, I think that's a great point from Barry there. Yes, have a little, there's no point, nothing stopping you having a look and see, is the game more aggressive, is it more passive?
Some of these games you can actually pull the hand histories down. Some of the,
really?
Yeah, some of the sites allow you to pull hand histories, even games you're not involved in. Pull them down, look at some plays, you know, compare it to your own play. If you want to be really analytical here, you know, and analyse and see exactly what the situation is. Now, you know, you'll find, as a rule of thumb, that the games are going to get better as you move up the levels. Yeah. You'll find that in the you know, you play a $2 sit and go, it's going to be a little bit more hair-raising, for want of a better word, than maybe a $50 or $100. You're going to find it a much more solid situation. Yeah. But you know, I would, you know, scout out, find the games that are best for you, and choose very carefully.
Keep on progressing. If your bankroll keeps on growing, as you say, well, then you can dip your water in the next level. And if you feel fine, good. If you feel a bit nervous, step down again.
Absolutely, and being in the minority is a winner because there are, you know, there are not that big a proportion of winners on online poker. Most people see it as a bit of fun, and that's fine. But if you're a winner, Ramchip, you're in the minority, and hats off to you, sir. Okay. Got 3 or 4 emails, but we're going to have to go to a break. But before we go to a break, the last part of the phone in, Mick Lacey's been holding on very, very carefully for us, and we're gonna fly over very quickly all the way to Ireland and speak to Mr. Mick Lacey. And we're back again with Mike Lacey on the phone. Mike, thank you very much for joining us once again.
No problem.
We've mentioned the big event coming up for the Boyles event this weekend. We've talking about the Showdown Poker Tour. But hey, the biggest event in the poker calendar, the World Series, is upon us very, very soon. I'm very excited about it. James is, look at him. He's overwhelmed by the whole thing. Are you going? Is Andy Zapp going to be there?
Yeah, the flights are booked. We'll be there. We'll be covering the main event from start to finish. 2 weeks, one tournament. It's going to be madness.
It is. They're talking. I read a recent press release from Nolan Dalla, who is the media relations person for Harrah's, and they were talking about there is no way they're going to cap this year's main event. They said last year 6,600. This year it was going to be 8,000. But they said they can quite easily accommodate between 9 and 10,000 players,
Wow.
which is astronomical amount of players. Whether or not they're going to get it, it's a nice bit of PR hype, but. I was lucky enough and have been lucky enough to have been to a number of World Series now and saw, 6,000 players play last year, but 10,000 players, Mike, that's unbelievable, isn't it?
It's going to be huge. There's loads of people qualified already, and it's still 6 to 7 weeks away. There's a few satellites online that are guaranteeing 100 or 150 seats before the tournament starts, plus all the live qualifiers and the sponsored players. There's no way that it's going to be less than last year. I think they'll break the 8,000 mark, in my opinion.
Yeah, they planned it on to have 4 day ones, 2 day twos to break it down. So.
Aren't they going to cap the first prize, though? Did that come about?
Well, they mentioned it was 10 million.
10 million, they're going to cap first prize at 10.
And pay a lot more people. That was the idea.
To me, I think that's a good idea.
10 million is enough for anybody, really.
I think so.
Well, last year, what was it? Every player that made the final table was $1 millionaire.
Yeah, that's true.
Which was a nice thing, and it'll be probably the top 15, 16 this year will be all millionaires.
I think capping at 10 million for first prize would be fine. I mean, that's life-changing enough. I think.
Look, get 300, do a deal. You take 7.5 each. It's just a tough life.
That's right. Hopefully, it'll be an Irishman that takes it this time and goes one step further than Andy last year.
Well, good point actually, there, Mike. Well, you've got some top draw. No Limit Hold'em players. You've got a great record, the Irish in the World Series. Who's your top picks for this year's top Irish player?
Well, I think this year the top Irish player is going to come from a group of players who wouldn't be well known on the world circuit. There's already some very good young players that have won their seat online and will definitely be playing. The names to look out for, I would say, are Oscar Fred, who qualified last year as well. A young chap called Owen Olin, who plays quite high stakes online. He's already won his seat. Dave O'Callaghan will be over there. He comes second in the EPT in Barcelona a couple of years ago. He's another guy who's ready to take on a big win in a big field. So there's a few there that nobody would have heard of that I would expect to see give the best Irish performance. But then you've got your old hands like Andy Black, Don Fagan, Padraig, Donica. They all have a chance as well.
And out of the names, who would be your choice if you had to put a small couple of farthings on those last longer type situation? Who would you have?
If I was going to put money, I'd pick 2 players. Can I pick 2?
Sure.
Yes.
I'd have Owen Olin and David O'Callaghan. They both do very well in big field tournaments online, and their live form is just coming to form at the right time. Owen just won the €500 event at the weekend there, so.
Yeah, I played with Dave. I actually was lucky enough to be in the EPT. I think I was 12th, and very aggressive player. Plays some strange cards in strange positions. Mixes his game up, goes through all the gears, and I would agree with you. I think is a very good young talent that one we should watch out for.
What size raises does he put in?
He mixes it up. You must have played him as well, Mike. But he really does mix it up.
What size raises does he use, Mike?
Nowadays, I would say he would use the standard 3 times the big blind raise. He's not a hugely over-betting player.
Okay.
He just knows when to bet, when to call, when to fold. His game has improved a lot since Barry would have played with him as well. He'll admit himself he was very nervous in that tournament. It was his first big tournament, so. He was
very aggressive, and he did make a few mistakes along the way, but aggression always sees you through. No Limit Hold'em. Look, Mike, we're out of time. Thanks very much for joining this evening on Poker Night Live, and hopefully see you again very shortly.
Yeah. Take care, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. Take care. Hi, welcome back. Poker Night Live. James Browning and myself, Barry the Bully Martin, for the last hour of the show. And we've got a few hands left of our Beat the Presenter to go through. Poised very nicely, 6 players left, me being one of them. It's all gone a little bit pear-shaped for me over the last 3 or 4 hands. Lost a couple of pots here, had to lay the 9s down. So should we see what happens?
Let's get back.
And I've got to post a big blind as well, James. Look at this.
And look at it, it's 326.40 now. It's expensive. And Snap It's gone all in. Ow. Now, that's for 1,020, which is 380 more to you. But is anyone else going to take him on first? No, it's up to you.
I can't pass. Push with. Cannot pass. Oh dear, there's a 5. Don't like to see it.
And there it is.
Poor old Ken, eh? Sorry, Snap It.
Correct call by Barry there. I was looking to see how much he was getting massive odds there. He didn't. If it was a live game, he wouldn't even have had to look at his cards once no one else had called. He just could have
Absolutely
called.
not.
And that's very nice for you. It's now take you back over 4,000 there. Unlucky for Ken, of course, but you played correctly.
Well, look, I'm losing actually past the hand. I couldn't believe he actually passed that there. Because he had 280.
Gone into second place there now.
Yeah, it's very close.
Pot and Pan is pushed all in. Well, I think that's okay. He's unlucky he's walked against Ace Nine, but he's got a flush draw. Not to be.
Look at that. 6-handed, 3 hands ago. Crash bang wallop. We're in the money.
Fantastic. But you're on the big blind with King 10 against a King 10. This is interesting. And he's asked you the question. Nasty business.
Difficult to call with King 10.
It is difficult to call with King 10, and you've still got 4,580 left.
I thought to myself, not the time to be getting too busy with King 10. I can wait.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
And now, Making Jam's got another hand. He bets. You put that down. You'd love to see Spit get involved here.
I was thinking, please, come on, boys, get it all in.
Fight. Ah, it's not to be. And you don't like that because he's just given Making Jam more chips now. Well, you've got a hand here now. If you're going to play, I would do what you've just done.
Yeah, they want to play. They've got 2 overs. Good luck.
You've increased your fold equity by asking them the biggest question of all. You would be a small favourite against even Ace King, and I agree
3
with
hands
play.
here. Look at this. Pocket 3s, Ace 6, and the King Jack.
Well, the 3s asked the question. Making Jam and so
Re-raised. And now I cannot even get involved. I was thinking about calling Spit
you
then.
You quite like it because you want these 2 to fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I presume the pair of 3s is going to get involved. Yes, he does. 997. There's a flush draw for Making Jam.
Loads of outs.
And he's got 2 over cards. The board can pair up as well. It doesn't happen. And Spit wins it with 9s and 3s. Whoa, amazing. Well, now Making Jam's the weak link. Only got 1660 and he passes. And you pass. And I think that's probably tactically correct because it's Making Jam's... No, I think it's a perfect play because it's Making Jam's big blind next. I think that's a perfect play. You've left the door open for Spit to fight him.
I said, good luck. You 2 crack on.
Yep.
And then I'll play
and
someone
Spit's
heads up.
got 9,000 here. He can just actually... Yes, he's done the right thing. And here's your chance to go into the last 2. However, Making Jam's hit a 3. Not what you wanted to see. Now, of course, only the King was there for Spit. Not to be, and Making Jam is back in it.
Yep.
That must have been a bit of a groan from you there, I think. Now it's up to you to do something, I'm afraid. Well, you don't have to do anything. You've just been given...
A walk's always nice.
Chips. Yeah, he's $1,000. Give us $40.
Thank you very much.
What a result. Making Jam. Well, you can pass that quite easily. But unfortunately, it looks like Spit will pass it as well.
Yeah, you can't.
Which he does.
Making Jam's got enough chips to make us both pass.
Yeah, he didn't want to just Ooh, this looks tasty, says Barry.
Yeah, I'm not going to be
I
playing
can't
this.
blame you here, and I'm going to do the same thing. The blinds are now bigger still. It's 640, 1280
He's an
now.
even bigger dog, I realised. Look, with the king, Spit's got a king in his
It's
hand.
called with King Jack. Well, you're in good shape here.
This to make me chip leader?
Oh, look, you've even got a straight draw.
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah, it's not fun, is it?
Oh, well, you did nothing wrong there. You played fine.
Yeah, I got my money in, and he needs to
you
a
played
6-outer
fine.
on the river. In fact, it was a 5-outer because the king was in Spit's hand, but it was a 6-out on the river, and wasn't to be. I'm all in on the big blind here.
Oh, you've
and,
even hit the 5 there.
yeah, but
Oh,
making
and then
jams
10
overtake.
comes on the turn. And Queen on the river. So you were even ahead on the flop on that one.
Yeah, I was. I made the money. I can't be too worried about that. And I was a river away from being chip leader heads up. So.
I thought you... Well, we'll just watch the end of this.
Yeah, yeah. Look at this flush draw against middle pair. That's interesting. He checks it. I'd have bet this actually. Definitely bet it now. I bet Jam's thinking, did I miss a bet on the flop? No, I'm going to push all in.
Wow.
I would actually call if I was split with Queen 7 there.
Because it's unlikely he's got the 6, you think?
I don't think he's got a 6. I don't think he's got an 8.
Well,
And I put him on either like a
tough,
bare
though.
9 or a 5, or
It's
maybe
tough.
a flush draw.
very brave bet by making jam.
Absolutely. And you know, down to 1,000 chips, he's done remarkably well. Now he had to suck out on me in the river, but hey, you know. I suppose it was ironic that after.
Oops, and he's attacking non-stop. Oh, and Spitz had enough. He's coming over the top of him.
Good play. Good aggressive play there, taking back
The lead.
the momentum
And the lead.
and the lead.
Well.
But more importantly, the momentum, which is was moving definitely towards jam there. Got to be raising with this kind of hand, yep.
He might be called making jam, but unfortunately he hasn't been able to preserve his chips.
Very good, very good. Leave the jokes to me.
Sorry.
No, he's done well. He's
No,
done very well.
Teasing.
Yeah, no,
He's done some good plays.
Yeah, he has.
He's played some good poker.
Yeah.
Only teasing, he's played some good poker. Oof. Making up the small blind with that. Making jam, I think. Ask him a question, yes. Definitely.
Yeah.
Surprising play from Spit there. But still, the fact he's prepared to put it down is okay. Maybe he can do the same play with a big hand next time as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is a good way. So if he does that, that's fine. If he's setting it up for the future, I don't mind it so
No.
much.
But there's not much future in a heads-up play when the blinds are 640
That's
to
the problem.
1280.
I mean, that is a play I will use in a slow structure tournament
Absolutely.
quite a few times.
Limp
I will let
pass,
someone
limp pass.
make up a small blind to get me off it. I'll make up a small blind to get me off it. The thing, this is easy. Make it, yeah, fine. Make it a small blind. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Over the top. I'll have all that back plus
Yeah,
some interest.
Exactly. But as you said here, you just haven't got enough time for that here, really.
No.
Anyway, this battle still goes on. They're both two gladiators here. Well, you need to be a gladiator to fight with that one.
Suited.
I think he can put it down. He's out of position. Why does he have to play that? He's okay. Just made up a small blind with it, which is... I'm not keen on that with a hand like 3-2.
I don't know why would you not? Why not just raise and be over and done with
Yeah,
it?
it's just so difficult to play 3-2 anyway. As it happened, he's going to win it.
Yeah.
But what a nightmare flop. Queen, Jack and Ace. Yeah,
Deuces.
I thought
Why
we'd see
not?
that. He's got the pair. He's asked him the full question. And I think he'll probably pass.
It's a difficult call with King 8. They must freeze the blinds, James, at this level.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
Yeah. Oh dear.
And it's trips.
Timing's everything in this game. And he takes the chip lead. Wham, jam, thank you, ma'am.
Ooh.
Yes, yes. Now, if he could muster a flat call here again. Yeah, nice play.
Not connected for him. Feel a check coming. Yeah.
Yep, good man. Now a little value, 1280. Yep.
I think he could put that 4-jack down. Yeah, that's fine. He's still got the chip lead. He could hope for a better one. Yeah, it's not too bad, is it? I think he can have a look at this. He's got position.
Yeah, but he's dominated, isn't he?
No, he doesn't know what he's against.
No, it's not a bad play. Oh, look at that. 2-3 hands.
He was actually getting 3-1 his money with
Yep.
the 7-8 suited with position.
He was, because it's only a minimum raise, wasn't it? I would have called, personally.
Yeah, I would call it with that.
And seen a flop.
But I've got position with, oh, here we go.
Oh, dear. Okay, there's a double
Oh,
up
look,
coming.
he just made it up as well.
Yeah,
Oh, yes, he's just made it up. He's played it well.
there you go.
He's played it well.
Double me up, thank you very much. Maximum value from his aces.
Yep.
Lucky enough to find spit with the ace-queen.
Spit wants to. Wants to spit.
He wants to do something.
Right, interesting to see what happens here. Double flush draw.
For no one.
Oh, and he's hit the 6. Does he
That's
think it's winning? He probably can think it's winning the way the betting's gone. He's checked it. Will he call? No, he doesn't. Get a bet even. So lucky, because he would have called, I
Could
think.
be all in here, I think, James. Ace-3 against the Jack-King. Yep, I think it's going to be a call.
Yeah,
up.
he does call with the ace. I think he's right to call with it. But however, making jams, hit the jack straight away. No one's got a diamond. He needs an ace.
No.
It's not there. And making jam has made first prize.
Well done, Jam.
Spit came second. I think they both played pretty well there. I think Barry, who came third, played well as well. And it was a good sit and go.
Was a very good sit and go,
Very
wasn't
good.
it? And Jam had to hit his jacks both on the river on me and on the flop there to suck out. But hey, you need a bit of luck in these sit and goes to win
Yeah.
them. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, very, very enjoyable. Very enjoyable. I think if I had the only thing I didn't like, the whole thing you did, was that 160 with a pair of 5s against the 2 players. I know why you did it, but it just
160 against a pair.
you had that was the only one, the whole thing I didn't really like. Even the way you played the 5-2 was fun and aggressive and whatever, but that's the only one I think it just didn't fit the storyline too much, and perhaps it even wasn't enough to get people to put much down. I don't know. That's the one thing in the whole thing which was like un-Barry-like, I thought. The size of the bet, the whole thing, it just didn't even fit your character one little bit, I think. But great, I thought you played, the use of your chips was great.
Yeah, no, it was a
Really,
nice...
I liked it when you were bashing away when you got the chips, and I respected the pass with a pair of 9s, which I thought was great.
Yep, had
You
to
put
do
in
it.
the raise, put it down. So we've seen him play with different hands, but we've seen that he's still capable of putting down a very respectable hand, which was, and that's good.
Don't
Very
get used to it,
enjoyable.
though. I don't do it often.
Very enjoyable.
Okay, got a number of emails to get through
Okay,
as we've
let's-
been engrossed in the sit and go, which I really enjoyed playing actually. Thanks very much everyone for taking part. It was good fun, and again, hats off to Making Jam. Okay, this is an email from Sue. Hi Sue, how are you? Hi guys, great show as always. I've recently moved on to playing sit and go tournaments with limited success. I took on board what was said last night about not getting involved when you don't need to. This is now.
When you don't need to.
Yeah. It's a full stop missing, but I'll leave you there on that one, Sue. I don't need to. This is now my new mantra, written above my PC in big letters, she says, and have been working. I've played 3 sitting... See, I added a full stop in there. Did you see that? There wasn't one, but I added it in, OK? Just to let you know. I've played 3 sit-and goes today and have 3 second places. Excellent, Sue. I'm glad the advice has worked. Was you on last night,
Yes,
James?
I was, yes.
See, it kind of makes sense.
And because Kara took a list of bits of advice home with her on a bit of paper, and she said she was going to put that on the computer. So Sue says she's going to put her advice on the computer as well, you see.
When's the book coming out, James? That's what I want to know.
I know, he's been nagging me in the break. He said, I've got to do it.
You do?
Yeah, it has been started, but it does seem quite a lot of work.
Of course, it's a book. You've got to write
I'll let you
it.
inspire me.
OK. Well, you know, maybe you should do it. How about this? This is not a bad idea.
Right,
a Poker Night Live presenters book.
Yes.
You know, like Dole Brunson.
Oh, yeah.
Super system. He worked out that, you know, there were certain people better at certain things than others.
Yes.
Get people to do that. Maybe give me the aggression thing. Give Mark, you know, something else. Dr. Tom, the kind of the rock. Nick, something else as well. I don't know. Whatever you think that the presenters' best areas are, you let them write that part of the book. You oversee it all and put it together. And well, it's, you know, Da Vinci Code. Ha! What do you reckon?
It's sounding very exciting.
Okay. Fancy it?
It's sounding exciting.
If you want a copy of this fine book coming out, Poker Night Live presents, you know, the... we should... I'm trying to think of a name now on the fly, but it's just not going to work.
All right.
The Poker Night Live annual. I'll be careful I said the annual.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, bring a fresh one on every year. Good idea.
Could do, yeah. Like a diary in the front, a crossword, maybe.
Sudoku.
Yeah. Okay.
Next.
Thanks very much for that. So I'm glad that Poker Night Live and James, especially his advice, has come in handy in a financial sense, which is good. And hopefully you're enjoying it more as well, because it's always nice to achieve.
Keep on watching, Sue, and keep on learning and keep on enjoying the game.
Email here from Paul. Dear James and Barry, quick email to James here. You may remember I emailed you last night asking for advice about multi-table tournaments. Well, played in is this like the James fan club this evening? Is it? Let me check. It's not your daughter. Okay. No, it's not actually. Well, played in the multi-table tournament tonight, and guess what? I finished 3rd, my best ever in this that specific multi-table tournament. Thanks for the great advice, and it was free. P.S. Thanks to Barry and all the gut shot for the Friday night for putting on a top night. Hope to do it again soon. Well, Paul, thank you for coming down. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and more great advice, James. See?
Okay, yes, I think that was Paul, if I remember rightly. I think this was to do with where I sort of sensed that he was waiting too late in the tournaments, letting his stack get down too low before making moves. I think he'd been hanging around waiting for big hands, where in fact he had to play situations before that came along, so that he had more fold equity. So at the end of the day, people were saying that he kept on getting big hands just outdrawn. Well, when you've let your stack go down too low, yes, well, you probably are going to go in the hand favoured if you've waited for a hand, but then, you know, you're not going to be frightening people off, and they're going to be in there and calling you down, and somewhere along the line you might be 6-4 on, you might be 7-4 on, but you know, these things happen and you get beaten. I mean, Barry quite correctly called on the small blind against Ken Snappet. Ken had the better hand, Barry hit his hand. That's the end of Snappet, because... But if someone earlier on had made a move, maybe they don't even have to get to a showdown, and they can just win the chips without anyone seeing the cards at all.
It's true. I think Ken's problem with that situation is I moved in on the small blind with 10 deuce and he's laid ace-8 down. That was a time for him to, you know, make a stand. But... Sorry, Ken, to rub it in. Anyway. Look, we've got another email here.
Okay.
From Rob. Rob saying, hi, guys, great show as usual. Nice to see Barry again, always entertaining. And thank you very much, Rob, and not even mentioning my hair, which is always... Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, you haven't finished the email. You might mention it before the end.
No, I've read it already.
Oh,
it doesn't mention my hair, which is good. Yeah. OK, I have a problem regarding playing under the influence of alcohol, but not the problem you would think. When I play whilst drinking, I play a far more loose, aggressive play and play the player and situational type of game with far more success than the tight card-based game I play when I'm sober. I've tried to play my drunken style when sober, but cannot seem to get the feel of the table in the same way. Do you have, sorry, that's a serious note. Do you have any possible solutions to this problem, or am I consigned to becoming an alcoholic to be a winning poker player? I like the email, Rob. It's you know, there's a couple of guys at the club. They say, one of them plays online here, a guy called Damien. He plays a lot, he plays online. He said he plays great when he's had a couple of beers and he's moving chips around and he's being very aggressive in a poker sense, not in the, you know...
No, violent sense.
In the violent sense, no, wouldn't endorse that at all. It's a tough one, you know. You must be able to analyse. Maybe it's difficult to analyse your game, Rob, when you are drunk or you know, slightly tipsy, the way you play. But how about this? How about looking back retrospectively at how you play, maybe using some kind of poker tracker or a poker diary system where you can download all of your hand histories. Look at how you played when you were drunk or tipsy, you know, not sober. Look at how it all kind of panned out. And then try to emulate. You said you've tried, but there must be reasons why you're playing like this. Maybe you forget you've lost. Maybe you've had too much to drink. Wake up and you think you've won. I've got a great story, actually. Can I quickly interject here? Roy Brindley one night. Roy the Boy Brindley, who does a couple of phone-in shows. One night, this is a very funny story. I shouldn't really tell this, but I'm going to anyway because he's talking about drunk. Roy's come home from the pub one night. Rather, had a skinful, quite a large skinful, decides he wants to play some online poker. Okay, so Roy's got quite a lot of money in his bankroll. He plays on one particular site that he's affiliated with. So he sits down, he kind of, you know, staggers over to his PC, logs in, you know, plays like an absolute rock for like 9 or 10 hours, and he's doing great. Wakes up in the morning, goes to cash out, can't cash out. Can't figure out what it was. Email support. He goes, I played last night for 8 or 9 hours in the 50-100 game, no limit, and I won $76,000. Why can't I cash out?
Yeah, fantastic results.
What 76,000 he won. They emailed back and said, yeah, thanks for playing last night. You was on the fun money table. He played for 8 hours like an absolute tyrant. Won $70,000 on the fun money, and he couldn't work out why he couldn't cash out. Strange stat.
They should have at least sent him a fun money check.
A funny check?
Yeah.
Some funny money? Yes. No, so Roy, if you're watching, sorry about that. I know you told me that in the strict... In fact, you was telling me over a beer, so the least I could do was repeat the story. I think it was quite funny. But what can you do? Rob, back to your point. What can we do about, you know, playing while you're drunk? James, any...
Well, I don't really advocate playing when you're drunk at all, I'm afraid. What you can do is just try and put yourself into that sort of light-hearted feeling that you get maybe when you're drunk, and then just.
Sorry, how was that feeling?
Sort of gay abandon, yeah, that's it. But try and get yourself in the mood and just say, okay, I'll be free and easy, but I'll be cold and calculating at the same time because I'm not fuzzed by any alcohol in my brain. But I don't really advocate playing drunk at all, actually. I think we need all our senses. It's just like. You know, I don't think you'd see Roger Federer having 15 beers before he played a tennis match, would you?
Why not?
Because he would lose.
Probably.
Yeah. Mm. Same with poker.
Then, you know, playing a tennis and poker is...
Poker's even, you've got to use your brain, and there's no point sort of dulling your senses to play a game where you want to be as sharp as possible.
I understand that, but he's in a situation whereby, you know...
I would just learn to play sober, Rob, would be my advice.
It'd be a lot healthier in the long run.
Yeah.
Maybe not as
for your bankroll.
Anyway, look, enough of this. We've got to find out what's happening with our MTT.
Yes.
We're getting very close to the end. Let's find out what's going on.
Okay, final table here.
Are we sure?
We're sure.
Is this the final table?
There's only 5 players left. And we've got Paul, Lamb Chip, Quite Tight, Froggy Boy, and The Nuts. And Quite Tight is raised it up in the cutoff and takes it. Barry, are you going to be able to tell us what the prize money is again?
Exactly what I'm looking at here, James. We're looking at top 5 getting paid. So We're in the money. We are in the money.
What's fifth going to get?
$51.20.
Okay.
Then fourth gets $76.80.
Not too big.
Third, 110.
Yeah.
Second, a nice little $153.
Okay, there's a bit of a jump there.
And first place this evening in this $5 rebuy event is $256.
All right, so it's a good first prize. Froggy Boy, he's got his chips in the middle. He's got 10 queen.
It's quite nicely situated, isn't it, currently? You've got three
Actually,
guys.
it's quite a balanced tournament still. Okay, we've got Froggy Boy is bringing up the rear with 15,000.
But besides that, loads of play.
He's not out of this. He's got plenty of plays, he said. The blinds are 1,000, 2,000.
Yeah. What's he got?
Well,
18 big blinds? No, what
no,
about?
no, he got
nine
big blinds. It's
yeah.
a round of play, though. If we look at the round, it's not quite as good as it, because it's 3,000 a round.
Yeah.
If we divide his 17 by that, then we see that he's just got over 5, which is which is not so good. So he definitely, he's the one who needs to do something. So with him, I'd be looking to be finding my spot. After one more round of play, as Froggy, I would be my only move would be pushing all in. But that wasn't the hand to do it with, and the nuts has decided to raise with Q7. Takes down the blinds. Froggy Boy didn't like that much either. The nuts. Is it Aqua? Ace Queen. Well, Froggy, we're looking at the low stack here to see when he makes his move. He's on the big blind now. He's got King Deuce. Pass small blind quite tight. He puts in a raise. And he puts it down. Well, it's now getting tough for Froggy. This is no good for him. Jack Deuce. Big hand from Paul. American Airlines. Makes it 5,000. Takes down the blinds.
Nice to have big slick in the big blind, especially when someone's raising into you. Quite a nice name to have, James, isn't it? Quite tight.
Yeah, it is.
The handle, you know.
But often the handles on the poker names are the opposite.
Usually. Especially when it's like Pauline 3 and stuff like this. You know, it's some big butch fella from, you know, Jarrow or something. And not really a girl. Froggy Boy moving in with the ace-3.
Yeah, I think he's quite correct.
Got the nuts dominated, which is always a nice position to have. And can he pass? Yes, he can, obviously.
As I said, when he got down to that situation there with that many chips, his only move for me would be the all-in, and that's what he used, which is good. Ace Queen makes it 6.
Yep, copybook play. Takes the blinds down.
The nuts.
Yep, seen a few big hands, but no big matchups yet, James.
No, not been able to get into a contest with the big hands here.
It's funny because usually when you see people actually made the money, things start to loosen up a little bit, and they start to
yes, so
let the bullets fly.
The relief of getting into the prize money. And there's a good play by Froggy. He's got to keep pace with this game here, and he's either going to keep on taking the blinds until he finds a really good hand, or if he's going to get called, then he maybe have to get lucky, and if he does, of course, he'll double up and be back in the game that way.
Absolutely.
So there's 2 ways of getting back in the tournament here, but he can't just sit back, and what he mustn't do is he can't let himself sort of fritter down too low, because then he loses all his power.
Oh, minimum raise here from the nuts.
Well, I think I quite like this. He's trying to get, yes, I like this. He's trying to get into action with a good hand.
See, the problem is that King Queen only rules in the unraised pot, James.
Exactly. So he shouldn't have been there, should he?
Oh dear. Poor old Ramchip. See, if it had flat called, he probably could have got away with betting out on the flop, being that it was an ace-high flop, but...
Well, overplayed a King Queen, I think. But it was short-handed, to be fair. But funny enough, we've seen these raises, and suddenly for the nuts there to put in the small raise, maybe you could think you've still got to respect it as a raise. It could be a bit smelly. It could still be a raise. You
could easily flat call for 2,000, see a flop, and then let it go.
Or ask the question and get away from it.
Yeah,
but don't ask such a big question.
Make it 7,000, and then let him come over the top, and let it go.
And then put it down.
Exactly.
That would have been better play. But you don't have to lose all your stack there. I think that was overdoing it.
Yeah. In fact, we had an email from Ramchip a little earlier, well, not so long ago, about that particular play.
Oh, have we? Oh.
Yeah, and I know we're going to...
Right, so Froggy Boys picked the wrong spot here, unfortunately, or probably. And the pair of jacks is there. A new chip leader and Froggy. We lose Froggy. He'd made a move, he ran into 2 big hands there. I don't think he did anything wrong. Just unlucky, he walked into ace-king and the pair of jacks, and he lost the chips. But nothing to worry about there, Froggy. You still had to keep on trying to take down blinds, trying to be aggressive until you got back into that game. So short-handed, your ace hand was quite... you could expect it to be the best hand. Still could have got lucky, but... it'd have been difficult because you were against 2 opponents, but I don't mind what you did.
Anyway, this email from Ramchip, so I just dug it out here. It's about, he says, please do not read until after my exit of the multi-table tournament, which has just happened. If you comment on the final table tonight, I have to say my re-raise with the King-Queen suited was poor, and this resulted in me finishing 5th. I'm not sure what I was thinking, as everybody knows that King-Queen rules the unraised pot, but we all make mistakes, don't we? Sorry, Ramchip. Look, he did very well to make it to the top.
Listen, it was short-handed, but I don't, you know, it was short-handed. I don't mind a King-Queen suited there, but you just didn't have to lose all your chips with it, I think.
No, you didn't, especially against...
You could have asked another question and then listened to the answer and got away from it, I think.
Well, 1, the guide you out-chipped, and 2, you have to... If someone's going to nick on the button, I don't think they're going to minimum raise, are they?
Well, you could have just called a minimum raise. If the flop suits you, play on. If it doesn't...
come ace-high, it'll close you both down.
Yeah. I think you just overplayed the hand.
Well, that's an understatement of enormous proportion. But hey, let's not rub it into Ramchip. He did well to come 5th, and picked up a small sum, which was nice.
Well, the nuts has picked up a lot of big hands.
He has,
He's
hasn't
picked
he?
up ace queen. He's had ace queen, ace king, ace queen. I mean, amazing lot of hands. Quite tight. Puts it down.
Paul was who we saw earlier against Mr. SOD, didn't we?
Yes.
Played the king queen again. Another king queen situation when SOD had the nuts on the flop.
Well, Paul's three-handed here. He's putting a raise with position.
And why not?
I don't mind that at all. If he's called, of course, he's got the chance to win a monster pot if he connects. Quite tight.
Ace king again, James. Look at
I
this.
know, it's incredible amount of hands he's had there.
He's going to need to see a doctor, or the deck hit him in the face like this. He must have scars and cuts all over his face.
And I like that. Well played. He's raised it. Ace King's a good raising and betting hand, much better than just a calling hand. Otherwise, he's then just drawing. And he's asked the question here. He might just win the money without any contest. Yeah, and he does. Very nice. Paul has got more chips and quite tight. Battle of the blinds.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
Raising out the small blind with a king queen.
Just against a blind hand, that of course is quite different. The king queen then of course likely to be the best hand. Against a blind hand.
So just to quickly recap about this evening, it was a $5 rebuy bet in this multi-table. We started with 45 runners and the starting stack was 1,500. And with 3 players left, everyone gets paid 3-figure sum. Next out will get $102. Second will get $153. And first place this evening, $256.
And the nuts is raised here, and he's taken the chips again. So quite tight, is now slipping back a little bit, but the blinds are still 1-2, so there's loads of play.
No, he's got 9 orbits. He's in good shape.
Yep. And the nuts is starting to turn the screw here. He's popping in more raises now with a bigger variety of hands, we'll see. Well,
Let's see what Paul does here on the...
made it 6.
Not going to get any business.
Might have been interesting just to call.
Yep.
Bit of variety. You've only got 2 opponents. It can't
Yep.
ever be that bad. Normally, you see, when we're in a full table, we do things to thin the field. When you're in a 3-handed, the field's thinned already.
Exactly.
So why not vary the play
Well,
a little bit?
you're just hoping to come up against a hand, aren't you? Someone who's
Yeah.
got ace 10 or
Well,
ace
of
jack.
course, but if you just call, you come against a hand, you're going to do very well, because they'll probably raise you.
Yep.
So I'm just saying, you could put that in as a bit of variety, I think.
Quite tight's got all his money in bad shape here. And
Yep.
so much so.
Kicker.
Paul's knocked
10
him out.
against the jack, and quite tight's gone out in 3rd place.
Yep, $102. Well done, quite tight. And we're heads up now, James, for the money.
Well, Paul about 2's on to win this.
Yep, they're both guaranteed $153. That's second prize, as
So
we
they're
said.
fighting for another
103.
Another 103.
Another $103. What are you tapping out there on your calculator, James?
I was just looking to
Working
see
out your Chinese
what the
takeaway
bill
meal?
was. Yeah. No, I was just seeing that. Just interested to see what the equity was before the start of this. It was like just interesting to see what it was. It's out of the 103, Paul's equity was like about $68.66.
There you go.
That's what he would win on average from when these two hit each other.
Yep.
Heads up. The nuts out of position, small blind. We talked about this last night, Barry, about on here, of course, the small blind is out of position, whereas normally the small blind will be on the button,
Yep,
as I'm sure it is in the gut shot.
it is. And most other places around the world.
Yes. But there's a few of the sites have it out of position. That's a software glitch originally, which I don't know why they've never changed. But there you go. So when in Rome, do as the Romans do, play accordingly. But what I think it means is the small blind being out of position does not have to make up the small blind as much, obviously, because they're out of position.
Yep.
So in fact, they've got more option to pass the small blind than normal.
Yep.
Because normally when you're small blind, you're on the button. Of course, you're going to make up...
Slightly slow the game down.
This will slow the game down. Yes, that's a good point, actually. Whereas on the small blind, the button, you're very tempted to make up virtually all of them.
And normally the big blind's tempted to raise because he doesn't want to be out of position seeing a flop.
Yeah. That's right. So it does slow it down slightly. That's a good point.
Yeah. So we're waiting for a bit of a match-up here, James, or a flop where they both hit, which is usually going to cause fireworks.
Whoa, this could be something. This could be something. Yes, I sensed. The nuts would call the raise. And we've had a check from Paul. I'm sure he's going to call.
Crafty old check.
And he's put in a raise. Oh, no. Just
Can he play?
Yes, he
Can he play?
Carved a few more chips off him there.
Yep.
And of course, heads up there, you know, it's you know, the nut is a... when Paul's got his pair at nines, he's got to really expect that he is a really good favourite.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's just one overcard on the flop, and the chances of his
Cracking flop?
opponent having that, it's slight. You know, it's just unlikely that his opponents hit that one overcard. And he's played it accordingly. In fact, he said, well, I'm going to slow play to try and get some chips out of this one. So that was actually nice play, wasn't it?
It was.
Wham, he's now trying a bit of muscle just to try to finish him off. I think we're going to see a lot of aggression here from him now.
Well, he's really turned the screws in there over the last, 6-8 hands.
Yep.
Now got around a 4-1 chip lead.
Yeah, and he got away from that. He said, I'm not going to give you your chips easily here. Which I think that was good as well, actually. Now, here we go again. There we go.
I probably would have limped with the ace-10 there. See if the nuts fancies a repop or, some kind of aggressive move. But hey, who am I to say how to play ace-10?
Yes, fresh from your encounter with the...
No bad. It's a bad beat-free zone, James. We're not talking about bad beats.
King-Jack.
Yes.
King-Queen, look at this. We said he'd be put under pressure, and he has. He's whacked in again there. And the nuts now is sliding down there. And look at this. 2-4 are the blinds. So basically, that's 6,000 a round. So he's only actually got...
He may have to call this here, with 5-8. He's stuck.
Oh, he has to call.
A big... Oh, I'd have probably called there, but...
He's down to 18,000.
Yeah.
Only got 3 rounds to play. Or a pair of eights. Can he hope to be getting better than that? I don't know.
No, 8-6 he had, that was.
Oh, it was 8-6? I misread it.
Yeah.
Oh, no, so maybe... No, sorry, I thought it was pair of eights. Beg your pardon, must be getting...
No, but it raised to 8,000 with 18,000 left.
Yeah. Yeah, it was still touch and go for the odds. Yeah. Well, needs pressure from Paul. Very good play from the chip leader here. He's really starving him of his blinds. No, what a horrible time to pick up 7.
Yes.
You really need to play.
And if Paul's got any type of hand, he's going to take you on, isn't he?
Yeah. He's going to be taking him on again, I think. Yep, there it is. Okay, here it is. The ace is in front.
And there we go.
There it is.
Paul.
And very good play by Paul. Once he got that big lead, he pressured and pressured and pressured. And in the end, he's got his opponent to call with queen deuce.
So the nuts, $153 to you, sir. Well played. And Paul, $256 to you. Well played, well done. And Excellent work.
Well, that was
Excellent
good.
work.
I enjoyed the final there. As I said, very good play by Paul. I really used his chip stack well. Once he got the daylight, he just hammered. As we talked about before, he didn't let up. He just kept on going. I said in the end, he got the guy so dizzy, he called with Queen Deuce.
Absolutely. Now, we were talking a little bit earlier about how Mr. Snappit played those pocket tens. Now, we've had an email in from Snappit.
Aha.
And I'm going to read it out. We've got 4 minutes left before the end of the show, I believe.
If it's a Snappit email, you mightn't have time.
I'll snap it in. Right. It says, James, I have to agree here with Barry. Well, not a bad judge, Ken. Well played. And besides this, his food was very nice on Friday. I called with the 10-10 because I thought if Barry did have a hand, like he did, and I re-raised pre-flop, he would have called because he thought I might be steaming after having to lay down the jack-jack against his nines, which I hit a set on the flop. Now, I told him I had jack-jack. In fact, I think he might have been under more suspicious with my call than an all-in raise. Therefore, exactly as Barry said I wanted to play it safe. I did not want to see a complete board of 5 cards. If the flop came low and he had bet, I would have pushed all in. If the flop had come low, I thought Barry might have made a continuation bet and I could win more chips. As it happened, he didn't, but I still took the pot. To be honest, I was quite happy to win that amount I did with the tens, and I was still in a healthy position, which was far better than risking going out. Very true. You have to understand that the blinds were still relatively low, and even if he had forced me to pass, I'd still had some play. I do regret not calling with the ace-8 against his 10-deuce when was in the blinds, as I thought he was trying it on. I think this was a much bigger mistake. I do respect your opinion, James. But, to have to be honest, I think on this occasion I have no regrets on the way I played this hand. Oh, one other thing, this is to Barry, I think you ought to give your name of your barber to Casper. When he had his haircut, it said it cost him £40 and he didn't look half as hard as you did. I don't know if it was a good thing or a bad thing, actually. I didn't actually get it cut to look hard. I just had it cut. Ken. There you go. Ken, thank you very much. I like the way you played the tens. Like you said, I was in early position, I made the raise, I didn't, if you would have come over, I would have called you 100% with my ace-queen, because slightly, you didn't show the jacks, but could have easily been a bit of a kind of tilty type all-in against my raise, which, to be fair, I'd been very, very aggressive. But,
Right, but there's another point here, and I can't agree with it, and the thing is, if you wanted to not see any cards, you could have come all over the top. He doesn't have to have the hand that he'd got. He could have had less of a hand. He could have had one high card. You give him a chance to hit that card. So if you don't want to see cards, you could have actually come over the top. It's Barry, and it's the person you're playing against. And in this case, you then have... If he has a poorer hand, Barry will actually put it down. It's just that he had ace-queen, which he's going to call with, but we don't know what he's got. So therefore, if you'd come over the top, the likelihood is that you are favourite, that you are in good shape. The tens would have been favourite against ace-queen, was it you had? Would have been favourite anyway. If he had a lesser hand, he'd have passed. So therefore, with the re-raise, you would have had some fold equity anyway. When it was a Barry move, you'd have had the fold equity there, plus the percentage of winning the hand. So if you run that through, I think you'll find that the re-raise against a player like Barry would still have been the better play.
You played it. You did nothing wrong, Ken. You did nothing wrong. You played the tens quite well. Look, James, it's been a cracking night.
I've really enjoyed it.
I've enjoyed it again. It's been a roller coaster ride. We've had some highs, some lows, and some interesting emails. Thanks very much for watching the show this evening. I'm Barry the Bully Martin, Mr. James Brown, and we're signing off for again this. But do join us again tomorrow on Poker Night Live. Not us, but someone else, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.
Good night.